decisive play from either team at this stage, and no score in the first few minutes.
Well, just pressure and not so much uncertainty, but nobody's getting a free run at it because of the pressure of the opposition. Ian Perry is lining up at centre-half forward for Adelaide.
And matched up at the moment by David Neitz. Ingerson on Welsh in the middle of the ground. And Adelaide, a chance here. Johnson got the ball to Rashudo. Rashudo's kick to the Perry-Neitz matchup. And away go the Demons from half-back. Walsh to Leoncelli. Leoncelli's kick, chopped off by Burton, not able to control the mark. Back to Johnson. Johnson, short kick. Crowell couldn't take it. Leoncelli, already prominent, kicks it forward once again, but out in front there and reading the ball through the air a little better than his opponent, Jeffrey Farmer, was Nigel Smart. Kicks the ball across that full-back line, and McLeod goes wider still. Ben Hart, who was highlighted in our game day production earlier. Ben Hart from half-back, 190 games and 25 years of age, I think was the quote that John Longmire had for us, and he's going to play a lot of football if he's injury-free, Ben Hart. Now, across that half-back line, there's a chance for Melbourne to get the ball clear, but the ball smothered off the boot. Now, Perry to Bickley, in towards the middle of the ground. Robran. Now Bickley again. Rashudo from just forward of the centre circle. Kicks the ball all the way to the full forward line, but Neitz takes a good mark for the Demons.
That's where he's so valuable. That strong mark. David Neitz dropping back.
Yeah, pressure. Perry, yes, good pressure. Jarman involved. But the Demons will get out of it. Leoncelli created the position and takes the mark. And Uze, who is a real barometer for the Demons, I think if they're really firing, Uze normally is. And what a revelation Walsh has been throughout the year. White can go long and gets it out in front of Swartz. Important.
Gergic.
Down and leading into the pocket. And that's a good kick, well placed. And Robertson comes out, takes the mark.
Tough place to get goals from there.
He's a live wire, but Melbourne have used the ball well coming forward, but they run the risk being so wide.
Well, Gergic was there for a long time.
He beckoned for it from, I reckon he's run from half-back to get down there and just make himself a target.
He just increased the angle or decreased the angle a little bit. He's a very talented player. You'll have to aim at the right-hand goalpost here because traditionally this pocket, the ball goes right to left.
No score after 5.5 minutes. Gergic kicks. And not a great kick.
It stayed right.
It did. Thanks for the advice, Graham.
There's a bit of breeze there, Graham, which is blowing that ball back a bit today.
Nice to hear from you down there, Curls.
Yeah, I finally sorted all this technicality stuff out.
So Ben Hart with a footy at full-back.
Rigoni and Rashudo, the big match-up in the midfield.
Lovely long kick by Ben Hart out past the defensive 50-metre line. Mark taken by Robran, looks to play on Nigel Smart and goes longer still to McLeod. McLeod onto the face there of Edwards. Edwards on centre wing. Goes in towards the centre of the ground. Robran, who marked the kick in, now very skillfully off the left boot, has found Burton. Bouncing Brett Burton, kicks the ball in towards full forward. Oh, yes! No, couldn't take the mark, Darren Jarman. Gee, that was a chance that went begging there for the Crows. Hand pass from Walsh to Neitz. Neitz goes very, very long, and Schwartz is out there. Hand pass back. Whelan in towards the centre. Rigoni, handball over the top. Stephen Phoebe, the veteran for the Demons, kicks the ball directly towards half forward. Out goes Nigel Smart. Good play by Farmer, just to provide a contest. Uze's kick in towards the full forward line. Matthew Robran gets back and mops up for the Crows. Goes across the full back line where Bassett takes the mark.
Well, they won't be happy with that kick from Uze, Graham, because it was only Crows back at that last line, wasn't it?
Well, it's a game of midfield players and defence at the moment. Both defences on top, both midfield teams getting plenty of their share of the ball, just not hurting when they go forward.
Bassett, cruel bounce, but they might get out of it. Melbourne, though, working hard with numbers through the middle. Again, Uze and Rigoni busy. Uze's kick is pretty good.
Well, that was much better. Robertson had space. He came from behind. Johnson led to the pocket, and Adam Uze, having learned from the previous kick, kicked it beautifully into space, and Russell Robertson, who is a talented player, had no trouble gobbling it up.
It's a bit like a sword fight down here. It's just thrust and parry, and they're all trying to test one another out. They're not quite there yet, but they're all trying to establish just some superiority.
Yes, nearly 8 minutes gone. Perhaps the first goal coming up. Yeah, good kick. Very good kick.
Monday night, get up close and personal with the Giants.
Tarantulas can live for 20 years.
A bird-eating spider that's not afraid of anything. Monday, 7:30. At 8:30, Ally McBeal goes undercover to catch a killer.
Can you hear us?
You two might want to be a little less conspicuous.
Plus some shocking news for everyone, Monday, 8:30. Then at 9:30 on The Practice, will an innocent man be saved from jail? Channel 7, the one to watch Monday night.
So Russell Robertson, the goal kicker for the Demons, but by gee, Nathan Bassett must have been licking his chops as he went down the middle of the field, and that oval ball deceiving him as he bounced.
So Melbourne with the first goal. Burton trying to give Adelaide their first really good opportunity. Neitz, who was so strong at centre-half back last week. Boy, he held on for a long time, but he just got rid of it in time. Walsh manages to get it out. Again, Neitz involved. Good tackling from Edwards. The kick is towards and over the line.
Interesting at these centre bounces. Darren Jarman starting in the centre of the ground and then drifting down to the forward pocket, which is allowing Andrew McLeod to come off the centre square and have a run on the ball. And I think Powell is his immediate opponent.
Biglands and Simmons doing the ruck work. White's up forward, of course. Biglands took it with him, but not effective in the end.
Already Neitz back in that defence for Melbourne is proving a stumbling block. He had a great game last week, and he's in good form again so early today.
Yeah, I think the player playing on him, Curls, has just got to make sure that he just doesn't get those clean possessions that he has been getting.
So it's just slightly in Adelaide's forward area, but it won't be for long.
Just such a ticky touch.
Now, this young fellow is a real goer, young Walsh. Been most impressed with him the last couple of weeks.
You can't help but admire the way he plays, that's for sure. Robertson, who's been busy, got hands to it, but Adelaide with numbers, and it's over and out again.
Yes, Peter Walsh from Pipers Creek and St Pat's, and he had a stint at West Adelaide.
Melbourne 1-1-7. Adelaide still yet to get on the board. We've been going just over 10 minutes, so we're getting towards the halfway stage of the opening quarter. Lee and Shelley, Powell all involved. Rashudo as always. Powell escapes. Over Swartz and Robran. Farmer and Smart hit it well. Robran under pressure. Farmer should be able to make them pay here.
That's clever.
Free kick, is it?
Oh, he's hit the post anyway, but there is a free kick.
Well, I thought the tackle on Matthew Robran was too high.
Well, the initial tackle on Swartz appeared to be slightly high.
Watch this on Robran.
Well, slipped over.
No, there was nothing wrong with that one.
He's played holding the ball, has he? Dear me.
Work it out.
Oh, that's not holding the ball, but still, we won't go into that.
It's only early, Graham. Just settle down. And that is not a great kick.
About all it deserved.
Well, Jeff Farmer play onto advantage, hit the post. That was no such advantage, and the big fella, David Schwartz, listen.
Bassett kicks in to halfback. Johnson confronted. Leon Challey to keep it alive. McDonald run down. Spillage. Well gathered by Goodwin. Johnson tackled by Rigoni. Ben Hart out wide. Edwards gathers, and then the little kick over his left shoulder is excellent to Rashuto. He looks to play on away from Woden. It gets his kick away, lands the ball at half forward. Ingerson, but he's there a little late. Good mark to Perry.
Yes, and Ian Perry playing at centre-half forward. He is not a stylish footballer, but the one thing he's demonstrated in the few weeks that he's been back, he has a fearless approach to the ball at the moment, and he stood tall under that. Players raging all around him. Kept his eye on the ball, kept the body strong underneath the ball, and a very good grab. He's a left footer, so I'll give this a good crack, I would think.
Perry from about 35 metres. Not a difficult angle, goes across the face and through for Adelaide's first score in the game, a rush behind.
And the frustration of football coaches there. We've seen Swartz at one end, Perry at the other. Pretty simple shots for goal. And AFL footballers spending the time that they do at their craft these days, you'd think would gobble those up.
Well, we've seen some amazing inaccuracy in recent weeks.
Melbourne huddling.
And Swartz, one of the targets out there. but Simmons it was that took the mark.
Talk about standing tall.
Quickly laying it off, and Schwartz, who followed Rodram down. Oh, not a high percentage kick. Powell trying for the big one.
Well, he got up there, but there was no one to stand on. He was searching for Andrew McLeod, but couldn't find him.
Well, Rodram has pushed Schwartz very wide, and he's well clear. No one within Cooey at the moment as he sends it in towards Welsh, and he gets it just outside 50.
Yes, good delivery. He's a touch wide, although it's not a difficult pocket to score goals from out there.
Is he a big kick? Can he cover 55?
He'll cover 50, but he's not a booming kick.
But no, that won't cover. To the top of the square. Jarman was up, but Melbourne were down. Woden now. Rigoni from half-back. The Demons building. Robertson. They need the next possession. The whole pack of players all starting to form, but he goes short, and it wasn't a particularly high percentage pass, but in the end, Schwartz okay to take it.
Good start to the game by David Schwartz, 5 possessions.
Particularly seems he's been quiet, and so he's got out there and got involved, as has Powell, who's been terrific so far. McDonald under a bit of pressure, under a lot of pressure, gets away remarkably and sets it forward, and it was well, I don't know if it was meant to be there.
Threw it on his left boot, and good fortune favours the Brave.
Didn't waste any time.
Well, you say good fortune, but Andrew Leoncelli was in front of Mark Bickley. I've been watching this contest between the two of them, Bickley and Leoncelli. It's been fierce. There's been nothing in it, but he was 4 metres in front of Mark Bickley. Mark Bickley anticipating the kick to be a correct one. Of course, it wasn't. It fell short. So the old rule of being in front doesn't often fail you.
See what we're seeing here already, though, but the Melbourne players are very quick to offer a short movement, and they've used it well in this particular passage of play.
Because they're a very good running side.
They certainly are a running side, and some of the Crows tackling at this stage in the game has not been good enough.
So Powell, who, as we said, has been busy already, 5 possessions and 3 marks. Favours the left and favours it well. Good result.
I want to tell you about a bug that's sweeping across South Australia. Any contact with this bug will result in the following symptoms: widening of the pupils and goosebumps, followed by uncontrollable drooling and a temporary loss of speech. So, how do you catch this bug? By buying the Advertiser. Simply collect your entry form and 5 tokens from Monday to Friday for your chance to win a brand new VW Beetle valued at over $40,000. You'll be sick if you miss it. Only in the Advertiser. Fresh daily.
So Melbourne have kicked the only 2 goals of the match. They lead by 13 points with 7.5 minutes left in the first term. Up over the top there was Big Lands, got the tap down, knocked forward by Burton. It's alive at half forward for the Crows. Edwards gets the hand pass back. Rashuto, kick out wide, very wide. Now the race is on. Look at Walsh come from a long way behind. Walsh and Welsh. Walsh for Melbourne. Welsh to try and keep it going for Adelaide. Gathered by Neitz, Powell, then Whelan, in towards half-back. Rigoni trying to set play up. Woden left it behind. Back to Rigoni, who was there always in support. So was Uze, looking maybe to give the hand pass off. He does. Simmons slips over. Back to Rigoni. Rigoni direct towards half-forward. Now the race is on between 2 speedsters, Farmer and Smart.
Oh,
Farmer keeps his footing beautifully. Feeds it to Robertson. Goal number 2 for Russell Robertson. Has he kicked it? No, just off to the left and through for a behind to Melbourne.
What an interesting matchup, Graham, Farmer and Smart.
Well, I think Nigel Smart's done pretty well at the moment, but Jeff Farmer used his body well. He went down on one knee, but just watch, he goes on his one knee, just gets up. Tremendous strength in his legs.
Burton and Uze, another one that'll be very interesting to watch throughout the afternoon on the wing. Towards the boundary, it's over and out. And Melbourne 2-3-15. What can Adelaide do here, do you think, Graham?
Well, they're looking for something in their forward line, and Andrew Crowell's coming off. Peter Vardy's going on for a bit more run. The midfield just has to be a bit more precise and not hold on to the ball quite so long.
Rigoni was in there early, and again we're going to see a bounce.
So that midfield matchups, Rigoni and Rashuto. Goodwin is on Woden, and Andrew McLeod is on Powell. And I just sense the Melbourne players slightly on top at this stage.
They're on top of defence too, Graham. That forward line's a bit like Port Powell's.
Well, Andrew Jarman now is at full forward. Sorry, not Andrew, Darren.
Well done by Rashida. I was going to say that would have been a really good comeback, Graham. Whelan, who I've never seen much of Whelan play, Graham, this year, but he is a really good player running off the half-back line.
I think it's a young lad who was at Woodville West Torrens last year, is it not? He came from Darwin. He's a hard nut. Played a very good year at Woodville West Torrens last year and was picked up by Melbourne in last year's draft.
Well, Bigland's got the tap, but Regani got them going. Long run. Robertson getting involved in the play. McDonald, terrific hands. Regani quick with the kick. Powell, under a lot of pressure from Bickley, copped it up. Free kick.
Well, it's the two grab. You can't afford to fumble, and Stephen Powell took a grab at it, didn't stay in, and just gave the Crows player a chance to tackle.
64 possessions to Melbourne, 47 to Adelaide so far, as Bickley kicks the Crows into their forward half. Big punch by Simmons, gives White the chance. He feeds it off to Leon Challey. Gee, they should score a goal here. Robertson goes long and accurately. Terrific goal to Robertson, his second.
Here's a couple who are about to break out with some serious renovations. And here's the Mitre 10 specialist,
solid hardwood frame,
who'll help you get the job done right.
Let's start with Accent. It's good value, it's our own brand.
From the store that understands it's not just the low price, it's getting the right advice that really saves you money.
Wow, what do you think?
That's great.
Well, what a start by the Demons. 3-3-21. And the Adelaide crowd a little stunned here. Such an important match for them. They cannot afford to lose this one. Rashudo. And eventually we'll see another bounce in the middle. So only 4 minutes 50 remaining in this opening quarter. Footy Park, a beautiful day, not too much wind to speak of. The ground in great condition. Simmons in the back there.
He's been most impressive, Troy Simmons.
Burton now gives them something up forward. Jarman on the run through, but standing up Perry. And he does look a likely type. Maybe at the moment hasn't been able to put 4 quarters together, Graham, but he does look a likely type.
Yes, and just not confident to go back, but he should be confident in his kick. I think he's kicking into whatever breeze there might be. Melbourne won the toss and went with it. But to actually take a mark like that in front of David Neitz, who's got one of the best pair of hands and marking instinct in the competition, must give him confidence.
Well, they need this one desperately. It was an awkward style. The umpire lost his hat.
The crowd doesn't like it.
The crowd doesn't like it. There you go. You don't see that too often, do you? That's what their head looks like. Quite normal.
See, David Neitz misjudged that altogether, the ball coming in, didn't he?
I think the ball's just holding up in the breeze. I'm sure there's a breeze into which Adelaide is kicking, which just held it up, and that's the reason that Perry in front was able to grab that.
Stephen Phoebe's kick in is good. Gergich to Powell. Powell streaming straight down the ground. Goes directly towards half forward, but the mark is taken back there by Burton. Burton goes wide. Ben Hart takes the mark. He's on the right hand defensive end of the square. Out wider still. And the mark is taken here by Vardy. Vardy came on about 2 or 3 minutes ago to replace Crowell. So maybe looking for the opportunistic Vardy to get a goal or two before quarter time. It's not going to come from this foray up forward. Jeff White, wider still, and the mark is taken here by Anthony McDonald. Both McDonald boys doing a very good job for Melbourne and contributing very nicely. O'Loughlin to Johnson. Johnson will kick Adelaide to within scoring range, but back there is Neitz. He got in front and he judged that a little better, and with the left foot kick goes wide. Robertson, who's kicked 2 of Melbourne's goals, gets a kick at left half back, and Powell's on his own. He had acres to spare, as does Schwartz. And Schwartz from 55 metres away from Robran looks to pass. No one really to give it to. Now he'll swing around and pass the ball to Farmer. Couldn't take the mark. Gee, got up and had a crack at it the second time very quickly, Jeffrey Farmer. And it is retained here at half forward for Melbourne, within their forward 50.
Melbourne's use of the ball has just been so much more precise than Adelaide's. And this Farmer-Smart matchup promises to be a beauty, because Nigel Smart, maybe you would think, lacks something in explosive pace compared to Farmer, but he's not showing that at all at the moment.
Still Adelaide searching for their first goal deep into the first term. Rashudo gets the hand pass out wide. Edwards goes into the middle. Robran, who usually kicks the ball beautifully with either boot, he's forced to kick with the left. He goes very wide. Oh, this is a great kick, isn't it? And what a man to be on the end of it, Darren Jarman. A real chance here for Adelaide to get their first goal. They've kicked 2 behinds. They trail by 19 points, Melbourne, at 3-3-21.
There's Matthew Robran flirting with it a little bit. He's taking the chance and running off Schwartz.
He's going to try and do that all day, isn't he?
And used the ball so well. Darren Jarman one out.
Jarman from about 35, maybe 40. Darren Jarman kicks Adelaide's first goal. No, he doesn't. That goal umpire didn't move.
He didn't move.
He was right in the middle of the goal, wasn't he?
I was actually writing it down.
Unbelievable.
The crowd rose with it.
Well,
Adelaide, interesting on these kickoffs. We'll see this shot here. They're not zoning. They're going man on man. Melbourne huddling. It's too easy to get the ball away.
Well, Phoebe taking advantage by kicking to himself, although the next kick not great, although Neat did a terrific job to make a good contest and then get it back and swing it inboard. And they can go off half back. Low kick from Woden is okay. Walsh, White, still looking up to see what he had. He wasn't sure, goes into the pocket very wide. Burton did very well to get the initial spoil, but Uze kept on going. Schwartz, just not going his way. Now it's over the line.
This is a big man, David. Okay, let's look at this Jarman goal from the angle behind the goals. Can we see? Oh, dear me. Ian Perry clapped it.
Oh, gee, that means a lot, Graham.
Marsh is on the ground too at the expense of Welsh for Adelaide.
I know, you're an Adelaide son.
I know. Hopefully I can get out alive. McLeod gets it up to half forward. I love the Crows. Off half back, Whelan, White. Oh, run down, fierce work. That's the sort of stuff that Gary Ayres would like to see. Biglands in the Jarman direction. Phoebe right with him. Not anymore, he's not.
Oh, good kick.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Didn't he skillfully do that?
Oh, he's got so much skill. Good play on by Marsh, though.
Yeah, Vardy takes it and will kick from just inside 50.
Well, the windsock is not doing much, and certainly the flags at the other end of the ground are barely fluttering, but Adelaide having all sorts of trouble going towards goal at this northern end.
It's picked up just a little bit, Graham. It's more or less favouring the end, and West Melbourne are kicking to just slightly.
But not enough to...
Maybe a couple of yards on a kick, that's about all.
This is a test because Peter Vardy is a good kick.
Let's see if they can find the middle this time. Take that one off us, they say.
Well, it was a good build-up because the Adelaide players had been going into their forward, taking the ball too wide. That Darren Jarman was good enough to be able to win the ball and got the ball back skillfully to Marsh, just evading Phoebe. Not much time, not much space. Ben Marsh, very, very impressive off the bench, and the siren has sounded.
Yes, it's quarter time, Graham. Quarter time, and that is what Adelaide really desperately needed before quarter time. So it's a 2-goal margin. Melbourne 3-3-21, Adelaide a 1-3-9. What do you think, Graham?
Well, I thought it was a very short quarter, to be quite frank. I think Melbourne have got the ascendancy, there's no doubt about that, but Adelaide's still very much in it if they can regroup and attack again.
This news update brought to you by Colonial's personal insurance portfolio.
Good afternoon. Coming up shortly on 7 News at half-time in the Crows game, a man and 3 kids rescued by Star Group police after becoming stuck on a cliff face during a bushwalk. Tragedies. A 6-year-old running an errand is knocked down and killed by a train. A school fireworks show turns to disaster, killing 1 student and injuring 9 others. In Fiji, a 7 News crew fired on by heavily armed coup supporters. In sport, FA Cup and AFL highlights and match reports. See you shortly.
Hello?
Hi, darling. I miss you.
That's great.
Timmy wants a story.
Yesterday calls are so expensive.
Oh, no, they're not.
Only Telstra customers get $2 Easy STD calls when they join Telstra's Easy Saver Plus. Get the Telstra advantage.
Made it right to the top of the hill.
The Mitsubishi Triton has a larger payload than Hilux.
Bigger.
Plus, it has more legroom and headroom than Hilux.
Bigger.
And Triton's 3-litre V6 4-wheel drive engine has an extra 25 kilowatts more power.
Ooh. Bigger.
The Mitsubishi Triton 4-wheel drive ute. Bigger than the other bugger. It is Mitsubishi.
Winter can sure chill you to the bone. Get KFC's Winter Feast. 10 pieces of chicken, large chips, potato and gravy, 4 corn cobettes, a drink and a Sara Lee apple custard Danish for just $19.95.
Manufacturers have their prices cut at Truscott Hi-Fi. This Philips 6-head stereo VCR cut by $50. And this Philips 50-watt 3-disc mini Hi-Fi cut by $100. This Conker 51cm TV cut by $50. This JVC 50x zoom camcorder cut by $100. This RCA 80cm stereo TV cut by $200. Manufacturers have their prices cut at Truscott Hi-Fi. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
Here's a couple who are finally seeing their vision become reality.
On the outside. Well done.
And here's the Mitre 10 specialists with all the advice they need for a professional finish.
It's our own brand. It's good value.
From the store that understands it's not just the low price.
They're washable. Right.
It's getting the right advice that really saves you money.
No, I reckon what you've done here.
That's what I knew.
The Repco Big League Legends figures speak for themselves. Valvoline XLD Gold Label 20W50 Premium 5-litre motor oil only $13.45. The Pump Emergency Tyre Inflator and Sealer 350 gram just $7.95. Munro Premium Gas Shockers, a new level of driver comfort, control and safety from $79. Nava Maxim 100-watt rounded rectangular driving light kits just $85. Legendary brands at legendary prices at your nearest Repco store.
Telstra's Easy Saver Plus package is $2 easy STD calls and 18-cent local calls, and you still get the 15-cent neighbourhood call. To join, call us and get the Telstra advantage.
Shortly down to curls with Daryl Hart, but Graham Corns, your impressions?
Well, I think Melbourne have started very well. Their forward line structure and their setup looks just a bit more potent than Adelaide's. They only lead by 2 goals, so that goal of Peter Vardy's was really valuable right on the siren. And if Adelaide can get some momentum, perhaps a bit more direct into their forward line, they've been going far too wide, they'll make a contest of it. But the Melbourne big man strength with Schwartz, Neitz, Simmons and White, it's pretty hard for Adelaide to counter.
Well, plenty to think about for the Adelaide coaching bench. Let's get down to Neil Curley.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Well, Darryl, you've gone forward on enough occasions, but not scoring enough goals.
Yeah, we didn't take advantage of that. It was a pretty even quarter, but as you said, Perry had 2 good marks but missed 2 goals, so that was a bit disappointing. But just towards the last goal was a good one, and we found Darren a couple of movements before that, so the movement was a little bit better.
And they're hurting on mistakes. They do run the ball back quickly.
Yeah, they've worked really hard in that area, and we have to work just as hard. So the game is a bit like that now, football, isn't it?
Okay, all the best.
Daryl Hart on the boundary line. Some philosophical comments then on the state of our game, Robbo.
Quite prophetic, wasn't it? That's prophetic, not pathetic.
Well, Red Bigland's going to Adelaide's forward line. They're leaving Darren Jarman one out in the 50-metre area, and we did see David Schwartz, who had a very good first quarter, getting some fairly extensive treatment on his wrist at quarter time.
So we'll follow that with interest. Still Simmons in the ruck, but straight down in Adelaide into attack McLeod. Perry takes it.
Third mark.
And pushing wide. They lined up out there. Burton, he needed to get clear. He ran into trouble. Back to McLeod. He spotted up, tried to go for the pass, but didn't make it. Phoebe running away from Jarman. And they are out of trouble as Simmons will pursue this with Ben Marsh. And
It's on the full.
See it over the line.
That's on the full.
I think he just tapped it out, Robbo. Ben Marsh is saying, I want out of bounds. I want deliberately out of bounds. But
wouldn't mind having another look at that. Watch his boot. Watch his boot. Hit his right boot.
So on the wing, Simmons and Marsh. O'Loughlin a handball towards the boundary line. Rashudo, I tell you, there's 2 fairly strong blokes there in Rashudo and Shane Woden.
It's a pity they're not matched up, actually, because Simon Goodwin has got Shane Woden and Guy Rigoni has got Mark Rasciuto. It would be good to see Rasciuto and Woden head-to-head.
A lot of respect, obviously, from the Adelaide camp with Woden. He's already had 6 possessions. O'Loughlin trying to get the ball clear. He does to McLeod. McLeod kicks it forward. 45 metres from the Crows' goal. Perry trying to get away from Neitz. The ball spills. Edwards, run down by Gergic. Back it goes, and the O'Loughlin tackle was all right. Forced the ball clear. McDonald's hand pass. Neitz's little kick. Gathered here by McLeod. McLeod trying to run away from Rigoni, but look at the left foot pass. Magnificent play by Andrew McLeod. He was running full tilt to get away from Guy Rigoni, but he put it on the chest of Darren Jarman beautifully.
There's no substitute to class. Look at this. He's just drifted to the left, giving himself some room, and the left foot pass was spot on, and, well, couldn't have it in any better hands.
Jarman missed at the other end, and he's missed now to the main scoreboard end here at Football Park. So a couple of behinds against the name of Darren Jarman, which is most unusual. 2 set shots at goal. He's very, very accurate on the run when he swoops within 50 metres, but he's missed his first 2 chances in this match.
And Melbourne similarly missing easy goals at that end.
Stephen Phoebe kicks in, and pretty good too. Powell, a good mark. Woden, he's going to get run down. Grabbed by the shorts. McDonald in trouble, and good tackling has forced the ball clear. No, the umpire's found a free kick. By gee, the Demons were fortunate there to get away with that.
Well, they wanted holding the ball against Woden when Andrew McLeod made such good work. But
within the rule look out, I think.
As by the rule, it's correct.
And Schwartz, in his first attempt to mark after quarter time when Graham Corns picked up the attention to his wrist, Marsh to Edwards. Edwards, little kick out wide. Vardy and Walsh. Walsh, the desperado, taps it back. Edwards leaves it behind. Whelan does well. Forces with the left foot out wide. Great leap and mark by Adam Uze.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Short kick into the middle. Taken here by Leon Chelly. His kick is all right, and Gergic is marked. Probably 65 metres from Melbourne's goal. Decides to kick into the pocket. Jeffrey Farmer's got it. Away from Nigel Smart, and he'll shoot for goal from deep in that right forward pocket.
Adelaide are going forward often enough. In fact, they've been into their 50 more times than Melbourne have, but wasting the ball across half forward, and Melbourne mopping up and using the ball beautifully on the rebound. It was a magnificent mark by Uze, but the use of the ball, which found Farmer in the pocket, was absolutely spot on.
Well, Farmer just looks a little uncertain as to whether to shoot at goal himself or pass it off, but he does the former, and he has just missed to the right. Scores the 4th behind for the Demons. They lead by 2 goals, 3-4 to 1-4.
Here's Adam Uze's mark again, but that's what the game's all about.
So Rasciuto again involved on the way out. Simmons used the height and the rebounding skills of McDonald, setting up another chance for Melbourne, and White was lurking. He got a little shove from Bassett. It was all right. Hart, oh, he took them on and got into trouble. Bickley clever, or was it? Maybe not. White. Snap at goalie, and Shelley, he misses. So the inaccuracy continuing for both teams. 3-4 to 1-4.
Fellas, have a report on the Swars injury, or not injury, but bit of attention at quarter time. He has just slightly jarred his wrist. The doctor thinks it'll be okay.
Bassett on the way out this time. And can carry it to the wing if he wants to.
He's got to keep going. There's no one to kick to.
Perry provides an option at centre half forward. Neitz will work him under it. Grant wanted a free. Neitz persisted, and it's close to, but not over. Now it is.
Well, it looked to be okay, some close attention, but the crowd on the other side is much closer than we are, and they're not happy about something.
Not happy about too many.
Is that your way of saying you thought it was a free kick, Graham?
No, look, I didn't see anything there, but
a little bit of scragging, though, wasn't there? It was a little untidy, but maybe no free kick. Vardy gathers, kicks with the left. Jarman leaves it behind. Now Melbourne through Whelan, tries to get the ball clear. Edwards straighten up, kick with the left, and kick a goal for the Crows.
But darling, I haven't stopped thinking about you. Distracted. I think about you all the time. There's no one else. You're the only one. The only one I think about.
The powerful Magna V6. One drive and you're hooked.
So Whelan matching up on Tyson Edwards. Edwards, the goal kicker. Adelaide trail by 7 points.
Yes, it's tightened up considerably in this quarter. McLeod, Rashudo, Marsh.
Oh, look at the big bloke.
Did well and gets them forward, but it wasn't a great kick. Walsh really backed himself there to mark over Vardy.
His hands were good there.
Not much on offer for him. Kicks to a contest out on the wing. Simmons, didn't complete it. Johnson was involved. Bickley and Rashudo. Quickly, wasn't much direction in that little effort, but Hart made the most of it.
Well
Johnson,
done.
good gear, Goodwin could kick it from there if he wants to go for home. Jarman trying to push. Neats did pretty well to get back and will kick it out wide. And it wasn't necessarily the best option. O'Loughlin keeps it alive for the Crows. McLeod has it punched away. Woden, and this is where they work so well. Through the middle of the ground. Whelan, strong to centre half forward, smart with Farmer. Play on. Hart was in the mouth, Graham Collins. The ball through centre half back. You thought there was going to be a free, didn't you? Johnson off half back. Gets it to half forward. O'Loughlin, who's been busy, takes it in front of himself. McLeod calls for it centre half forward. Will he go to Jarman? He does. He's in front. He went to ground.
Goal.
McLeod should stroll in and kick a goal, and the Crows are in front. No, they're not.
It's really interesting because Adelaide people have always loved events, and so it's fascinating to look back at the old footage and see how they turned out in their thousands. We've got some fantastic footage, all the royal visits from those early days right through to the Fab Four.
A 7 News special continues Monday night. On Today Tonight, Adelaide's disgraced hypnotist,
Unethical conduct on 3 occasions.
banned for seducing his patients.
Well, I think it's pretty despicable.
We catch him back at work and breaking the law.
I think we should continue.
6:30 on 7.
O'Loughlin instrumental in a couple of passages of play there. I thought he made the wrong decision when he tried to get it to McLeod earlier, but on that occasion kicking it forward, looking for Jarman, and McLeod the crummer. Marsh and Simmons. Ball spills wide. Burton for Adelaide. Can't duck back. He tried to, and he was caught with the ball.
Bit lucky there.
Gee whiz, he wasn't he, Curls? I think if he went straight forward, he could have got rid of the ball.
Yes, I think he could have easily been penalised for that one.
But in his efforts to just back out of the situation, watch him stop and prop and go backwards, or try to just slip the tackles of Simmons and Leoncelli, and the umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Simmons working overtime, and Powell, now Walsh for Melbourne, gathers and then kicks it forward to right half forward. That's a free kick, isn't it, against Ben Hart? Maybe the advantage is with Melbourne. Russell Robertson kicks the ball in towards full forward. White and Farmer still at half forward for Melbourne. Bassett, a little kick is all right, and the marker's taken out there by Burton.
Gee, he had Edwards in the middle of the ground, ignored him, went to a one-on-one contest with Biglands. McLeod, Bassett, and it opens up at half forward. If it sits for Goodwin, it does. The path opens up. He'll go for home and kick the goal. Great play by the Crows.
Travolta goes ballistic. Ain't it cool? He holds the world to ransom, and only one man can stop him. I'll be right back. The action movie blockbuster, Broken Arrow, tonight 8:30 on 7.
What would you do with $10,000 from Mortgage Choice to make your place a better home and garden? Have a new kitchen, a new bathroom. Just watch Tuesday 7:30 for details. Then listen to 5AD FM and the 10 grand could be yours.
And now they are in front, Robbo.
Good on you, Hutto. Bigland's pretty good there at ground level, just tapping it out to Andrew McLeod. Now from the centre bounce, Woden just coughed it up. Well done. Good hand pass there by Rashudo. Released Edwards. Edwards to full forward. Jarman couldn't take the mark, but by G's after it again. The awkward bounce. Woden tries to sweep the hand pass wide. McLeod a little toe poke. Didn't quite get onto it. Jarman, beautiful hands to Bickley. Bickley in towards half forward. Now The awkward bouncing ball. Biglands and Ingerson. Edwards grabbed by the leg. Blatant free kick to Adelaide. And they've got tremendous vocal support here at Football Park. 95% of the crowd in the colours of the Adelaide Crows.
Yes, well, the Adelaide crowd wanting 50 metres for that, but you can see the tackle from Anthony Ingerson was around the thighs, a legal tackle initially, and just slipped down around the leg. It was an unintentional trip.
There's one Melbourne player in for a real hard day today. It's young Jeffrey Farmer. I think Nigel Smart has really come to play footy today.
Gee, Jarman looks fired up too. The way he chased and second effort there was terrific.
Edwards to go for goal, kicks across the face and scores one behind. So 1 goal, 1 to Tyson Edwards.
There's no doubt Adelaide have found something at quarter time, because their second quarter opening has been tremendous. This is almost the Adelaide of old.
Oh, it wasn't a great kick in at all. And
Perry, who is growing in stature these last 3 games.
4 marks for Ian Perry. Demons have been unable to clear from defence. That is a monster of a kick. White was high, and did Burton kick it or not?
He missed it.
No.
He missed it. He had an airy. Can you believe that? Well, Brett Burton can't. Just watch it in replay. He grabs it beautifully off the pack, swings his leg at it. Here it is. Misses it.
Well, the Demons trying to get it out of defence now. Woden keeps it in. Hasn't got that much on offer. Swartz, as we said, hampered by an injury to the wrist. Outnumbered off half-back. Guess who? Rashudo spotted his teammate Tyson Edwards down the ground. Wasn't a perfect kick. Perry did everything but take the mark. It was a juggling act. McDonald's combined. Swartz this time didn't take it. Hart was terrific in providing support and allowing Rashudo to run away. Rashudo just didn't quite get enough on it. It was either a mark or out on the full. The mark paid to Whelan. White may have been swung into the ruck, I get the feeling.
Well,
he's up at half-back.
Schwartz already suffering from those restrictions.
Oh, Barney, that was not paid as a mark, but it was as good as. O'Loughlin, as we said, has been excellent, but that was a very poor handball to Walsh, allowing Melbourne to move forward. Liam Kelly, Rigoni, just a bit of hesitancy there for the Demons. Simmons is now at full forward, smart, aggressive with the touch. Here comes Powell, needs to kick a goal, missed one early, and has missed that one. So it's a 1-goal margin at Footy Park. 4-6 playing 3-6.
There's Peter Vardy. Look, he had first grab, he had last grab, he said, I want the mark, but probably a reasonable decision. The Melbourne player had hands on it as well.
Ben Hart goes into the left back pocket area where Bassett is marked. He goes further down the ground to Burton. Still in their defensive 50 are the Adelaide Crows. Burton short, and the mark has been taken here by Robran. Got the hand pass away. Perry ran into trouble. Got the ball off to Goodwin. Goodwin off the trusty left. Kicks into the pocket. No mark taken down there, so the spillage. Can it be controlled by Walsh? It can. McDonald. Back he goes to Gergic. Gergic transfers play to the members' side of the ground where Woden has made good position. Bruce has just come onto the ground. He's got a little bit of space. Woden ignores him and kicks into the pocket where Farmer was advantaged by that kick off Woden's boot just floating away to the left. And Farmer goes for goal. Jeffrey Farmer kicks all the way to the line, and it's helped over by Brett Burton for an emphatic behind to the Demons. 3-7 to 4-6. Adelaide lead by 5 points.
Adelaide's defenders running wide, just upsetting the structure of Melbourne's forward line.
Kick in, goes to Hart. And he in turn finds Burton. We've got 8 3/4 minutes left in the first half. Burton kicks in towards the middle. Important possession here for Adelaide. If Melbourne had been able to get hold of that ball, they could have gone forward quite simply, but Stenglein did well. Off to Ben Hart. Just got a little bit of space for himself and then delivered beautifully, where Perry is away from Neitz and causing David Neitz some concerns.
My word, and that's very unusual for David Neitz's class.
And he did well, Vardy, to keep his footing and able to run away. Pump it to the square, Jarman! Oh. Just inside the line.
Well, Ian Perry has taken his 5th mark, and the crowd wants Darren Jarman on the field.
He ran around and he was toying with of them there, and then he missed. Oh.
I think that's his third behind.
Yep.
There's the mark. He backs back, keeps his eyes on it. Oh, gee,
there was only centimetres in that.
Well, the umpire was in a good position to save. Typical shot for goal. He ran around and probably overstretched himself, had to overcompensate, missed to the left.
Well, from 11 shots, Adelaide have kicked 4 goals, and from 10 shots, Melbourne have kicked 3. So the inaccuracy continues, and the defenders kick accurately from those kick-ins. On this occasion, Stephen Phoebe found McDonald. He went wide to the members' side, and reasonably well played there by Stengline. Got the ball clear to Edwards. Edwards into the pocket. Don't wait for it, Rick. It won't come to you because the player chipping in was Anthony Ingerson. Knocked it clear for a boundary throw-in.
It's pretty hard, that one. You say don't wait for it, but if he runs forward, he's often underneath the ball, and Anthony Ingerson was bearing down.
So the boundary throw-in, Marsh gets a good fist to it. Gergic got the ball to Whelan, in turn to Leoncelli. Leoncelli through the middle. Awkward floating ball to the half-forward area. Ben Hart and Goodwin. Goodwin's playing a very good game. He goes into the centre where Johnson gathers, gets it off to Bassett. Bassett, left foot kick. Oh, there's a player on his own out here. It's Vardy. He can run in and kick from inside 50. No, he's going to get caught, is he? He gets the kick away. It is a mongrel punt kick, but it's well marked by Jarman. And only Darren Jarman could do that.
Whoa! The Repco Big League Legends figures speak for themselves. Valvoline XLD Gold Label 20W50 Premium 5-litre motor oil only $13.45. The Pump Emergency Tyre Inflator and Sealer 350 gram just $7.95. Munro Premium Gas Shockers, a new level of driver comfort, control and safety from $79. Nava Maxim 100-watt rounded rectangular driving light kits just $85. Legendary brands at legendary prices at your nearest Repco store.
Well, the obvious worry about the matchup with Phoebe and Jarman is when it's one-on-one game and the ball comes in.
There's no doubt about it, because he's very, very strong, and it was high enough for him to force him under the ball. He looked at the umpire, though, before he kicked the goal.
Could have kicked 4 so far.
Marsh got the tap. That looked terrific, but Rigoni it was that read it and gets them forward. Robertson, who can be dangerous.
Yeah, Terry Downer has taken Shane Woden out of the centre and put McDonald in there.
And that's a good kick.
Oh, too easy.
It was, wasn't it?
Just a bit of space created in front of David Schwartz. He walked back towards the goals, turned around, ran into the space, and it was almost like a set play.
It's noted, Graham, that he's taken the strapping off that right wrist.
Might be affecting this drop of the ball.
Now this is a much-needed steady. Oh, I don't know what's affecting the drop of the ball on that one, Graham, but they really needed to kick that goal, Melbourne.
I think he kicked the ground.
Very unusual for that boy. He's such a magnificent kick normally.
I don't know whether, here's the drop. Oh, he did hit the ground. He just dropped it like a watermelon and kicked it like one.
So Ben Hart just going straight down the ground. Gee, they'll get clear here, won't they? Rashudo reading the ball off the pack to McLeod. McLeod to Jarman.
Oh, it's on fire. He is on fire.
Oh, when he missed the first 3, you may have thought, well, it's not Darren Jarman's day, but hang on a moment, folks. We're still going to see vintage D. Jarman on shore.
And he kicked 9 goals last time these two teams played. And sometimes you just have a psychological advantage.
He looks positive, doesn't he? It looks, I mean, he's had all the time now to play on the ground. He's yet to taste the interchange bench. He goes for goal, and what's he going to do? Hands go up in the air, but he's kicked the goal.
So exciting, wake into a brand new day. Only Coca-Cola makes you feel this way. Time for some fun, come on, enjoy. Coca-Cola, enjoy the magic that never ends. Enjoy the moments, Coca-Cola,
No doubt Melbourne supporters back home are hoping that Darren Jarman's feeling a bit tired and might need a rest, Graham, because he, along with a lot of the running players in the middle, is threatening to tear Melbourne apart here. The Demons desperately need to get a goal. Adelaide have kicked the last 6 goals after Melbourne led 3 goals to zip. White, that's a good kick. And Lee and Shelley to line up for goal.
And then again, all that space in the centre-half forward area between full forward and centre-half forward. Melbourne seem to create that. They've moved into it twice beautifully.
Now you can see how long it is since Melbourne kicked their last. And a big kick coming up. We've seen a lot of inaccuracy.
There'll have to be a move made on Jarman too, I would think.
They've kicked 5 behinds in this quarter.
Beautiful kick.
And now they've got... Oh, no, it didn't make it. And the goal umpire loses his hat for the 2nd time in the match. An important stat.
Well, we've seen it just holding up into the breeze to that end.
Bassett after the Marsh mark, which, as you said, very important. Stopping Melbourne's scoring their goal, but maybe that breeze is stronger than we thought. Can set up again. McDonald breaks the tackle. Powell. Not sure where to go. He puts it out in front again of Cameron Bruce. Hart will be too strong for him in the air, you would think. Robertson. Powell again, running out of legs. McDonald off the ground. Not sure if he had any designs on what he was really trying to achieve there.
Well done by Johnson.
Farmer made a contest. Johnson will get it away.
Oh, well done.
Oh, not sure if that was the right option. Farmer steals it.
How'd he get it?
The Farmer got it. Bruce in the pocket. Schwartz. Oh, he just rushed it and kicked it behind.
3 behinds for David Schwartz.
There was all sorts of talent on display there. There was some tremendous work by Farmer to get it. All sorts of pressure by Adelaide's defence. And in the end, when the ball came to Schwartz, he was under enormous pressure. Farmer did well. Bruce, back to Schwartz. Bang. Missed it.
Well, James McDonald's tackle there on Ben Hart just kept a rare or just a slight chance for Melbourne to score. But now Adelaide with the football through McLeod goes down towards half forward and gathered here by O'Loughlin. He kicks the ball high to the Jarman-Phoebe contest. At half forward, Jarman 1 on 3. He just failed there in his attempt to gather the ball, but White was there for Melbourne. Phoebe run down by Jarman. Umpire calls play on. Still a contest at half forward. Big Land's looking for the free kick, but he's going to be paid against Big Land's, and it will go there to Anthony McDonald. Jeff Farmer back to Rigoni. Rigoni running through the middle of Football Park. Goes in the direction of Schwartz. Chipping in there was Burton. Johnson also there. The familiar blonde locks of Kane Johnson and Brett Burton. Kick forward. Terrific stuff back there by McDonald. Powell. Schwartz. Farmer's snapshot. He has missed as well. This is absolutely incredible. Melbourne, yet to kick a goal in this term, have now kicked 7 behinds.
Gee, they're trying. There's no doubt about it. They've lifted their intensity in these last 5 minutes. Some tremendous work by Cameron Bruce to get the tap out to Jeff Farmer. But they're peppering the goals, not being able to convert.
7 behinds in the term. 3-10. They trail Adelaide, who are 6-7.
Beautifully read by Matthew Rodbran.
Didn't get off the ground, but he just timed it perfectly.
2 minutes 20 remaining. So Adelaide, who have dominated this quarter, going forward again. McLeod and Goodwin both have been important. Long one inside 50. Ingerson in best position to mark and doesn't. And Vardy makes the most of it.
Are you sure you know what you're doing, Frank?
Everything's tied off. I'm safe.
Do you want me to move the car?
Did you know that if your car's insured with Amy, you can get up to 45% discount on our home and contents insurance?
Big quarter for Adelaide. They've kicked 6 goals for. Melbourne have kicked 7 behinds. Bounce to restart play. White to Powell. Powell trying to shrug the tackle, and I thought he was a bit fortunate again there. He backed himself, tackled too high according to the umpire. Free kick to Stephen Powell, away to Uze. His kick into the pocket. Jeff White, can he do something for the Demons? The short kick goes in towards full forward. Gathered here by Ben Hart. the young veteran, if there's such a thing. Out wide, finds McLeod. Graham Corns referred to the balance of Andrew McLeod. Watch the way he controls the football. Right or left foot? Left foot on this occasion. Goes towards half forward. Vardy couldn't get through with the football. Now Bruce gets the hand pass over the top, and the Demons stream clear of their half-back line through Stephen Phoebe. His kick is taken by Matthew Robran at the second grab in front of David Schwartz. David Schwartz certainly restricted by a right wrist injury, we feel.
Robran on top at centre-half back, Perry on top at centre-half forward, and Shane Woden has been moved on to Darren Jarman.
Ben Hart gets the ball all the way down to Burton. Burton is on centre wing. We're into the last minute of the first half. Burton's kick towards half forward. Ingerson back there, and eventually it's been taken by Whelan, who's been allowed to play on because obviously the ball did not go over the boundary line. Uze, little left foot kick. Schwartz got to get the ball moving. Went for the left-hand hand pass, ducked back onto the right, kicks towards goal. Neats up high, couldn't take the mark. Back there is Smart, left the ball behind. Neats and James, but the ball has gone over for a boundary throw in right forward pocket for Melbourne.
There is a player that's hurting Melbourne pretty badly out in that wing is Burton. He's getting a lot of the footy.
Looks like Neats has gone forward now.
Yep, so Neil Danaher has made the move of Neats forward. He's got his major playmaker, Shane Woden, on Darren Jarman, which is a very interesting matchup. Phoebe, who had the job earlier, he's not having a great day. That went about 2 metres distance and about 10 in the air and out on the full.
Well, this appeared to be smothered, but obviously wasn't.
Bickley is in a lot of space, and they've started a lot of attacks by switching to this, the members' side of Footy Park. Oh, yeah, Siren's going to stop that anyway. So what a quarter by the Adelaide Crows. They were 1 goal 3-9 at quarter time, and who would have thought they would have come out with that? 6 goals 4, and Melbourne could manage 7 behinds. So half-time, 7:49 to 3:10:28. Graham?
Well, a dramatic change in fortune. Melbourne looked by far the better team in the first quarter. Hadn't hurt Adelaide badly on the scoreboard. Both teams kicking inaccurately. But with Darren Jarman at full forward, Ian Perry giving a really good workman-like contest at centre-half forward, Matthew Robran on top of Schwartz at centre-half back, and the Adelaide midfield in Goodwin and Burton doing particularly well. Peter Vardy chipping in for his couple of goals. Adelaide regaining momentum, and well, the crowd loving it. They've taken a lead of about 4 goals. It probably won't be enough. It's really giving them some confidence and a chance.
It's a good match at Footy Park.
On Today Tonight, Adelaide's disgraced hypnotist,
Unethical conduct on 3 occasions.
banned for seducing his patients.
Well, I think it's pretty despicable.
We catch him back at work and breaking the law.
I think we should continue.
6:30 on 7.
Dave. I'm back. The Big Mac deal is back with 2 Big Macs for only $3. Rip into both of them today.
There's more to the new tax system than just the GST. From the 1st of July, every Australian taxpayer will get a tax break with cuts to personal income tax. A whole lot of unfair, complicated, hidden sales taxes will be abolished. Family assistance will be increased. Childcare benefits will be increased. Also from July 1, there'll be tax cuts and other benefits for people who invest their savings. Eligible self-funded retirees and pensioners with savings will get a break with untaxed savings bonuses. All government pensions and allowances will be increased and guaranteed to stay above the cost of living. It's a tax system that will move our country forward. Tax reform, because we shouldn't hold Australia back. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Save more with the Coles percentage off sale. With 15% off Nescafe coffee 250 grams, now only $7.95. And 25% off Arnott's chocolate biscuits, just $1.78 each.
For free, confidential and practical information on how to get your business started with the GST, simply call GST Assist on 133088 and get started today. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Are you sure you know what you're doing, Frank? Everything's tied off. I'm safe. Do you want me to move the car?
Did you know that if your car's insured with Amy, you can get up to 45% discount on our home and contents insurance?
This is 7 News.
Tonight, Fiji's coup leaders threatened their hostages with execution. A young life lost in a train accident at Ascot Park. And a school community in mourning after a fate ends in tragedy.
With John Riddell.
Good evening. The leader of the coup in Fiji has threatened to shoot hostages one by one if the president refuses to resign. Some captives have now been released, but tension remains high around Parliament House, where our own Channel 7 news crew was fired on by heavily armed rebels.
Hello, sir.
Hello. It's an indication of just how much pressure coup leader George Speight and his gunmen are under.
You're not allowed to take out, I'm telling you.
It's me.
But
other Fiji TV have taken photographs.
Be honest, you're not allowed to take out, you go.
So can I give you my card? If I give you my card and show you?
I don't know.
We're from Australian television.
We've made a simple request to video Parliament House where the Prime Minister and his cabinet are being held hostage. The gunman returns to his post, disguises his face with camouflage netting, then returns.
One more minute, sir.
You go. I'm telling you, you go.
OK. All right. We're gone. We're gone.
His patience was gone. The bargaining period over.
OK, we're going.
It's that sort of tension that has so many here worried. These men still have up to 35 lives in their hands. At least we could get away.
Don't roll. Put it down. Keep your hands in the air.
It was a more peaceful departure for this group of hostages. Mr. Speight had agreed to release 10 overnight, among them this government minister.
I was given a choice to resign from the present government with effect immediately, or I'd be shot.
For the remainder, though, no reprieve. And the gravest fears are for Prime Minister Mahendra Chaudhry. His family asked for permission to visit today. That was denied.
You know, we're trying to stay strong, but it's not the best position one could be in.
There were reports he'd been bashed, had later collapsed. A Red Cross medic was allowed access. His diagnosis, Mr. Chaudhry was suffering understandable stress.
Had he been beaten?
Didn't show any signs of that.
No signs of injury?
No.
Police reinforcements have been delivered to Parliament, as have food supplies. But the priest offering to deliver Sunday service turned away.
No. I am not allowed to go in because they're having a meeting.
And they were prayers those hostages may be in need of. Fiji's president has just revealed on national television that coup leader George Speight is now threatening to shoot each of his captives.
You would kill those hostages if you had to?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't enter into situations of this kind except you're prepared to go to those measures.
The TV cameras have been pushed back from Parliament now. There's a 1 kilometre exclusion zone. The lives of those inside on knife's edge. In Suva, Fiji, Chris Reason, 7 News.
Back home, and tragedy in suburban Ascot Park today. A 6-year-old boy returning from an errand for his mum died instantly after being hit by a train. According to witnesses, the youngster made a dash across the tracks at a pedestrian crossing but misjudged the speed of the oncoming train.
The 6-year-old, described by locals as a good kid, was a regular customer at this deli. He was there again this morning just after 10 o'clock.
The young lad had been over to the shops just buying paper and a pie and some iced coffee and was returning home.
He set off over the railway line at the pedestrian crossing but never made it to the other side, struck a glancing blow by a fast-moving train. Police say the boom gates and signals were operating at the time, and it's unclear why the boy didn't stop. Some witnesses claim he attempted to make a run for it, but misjudged the distance.
Tried to cross the road, the train crossing,
tried to beat the train. Thought he can get it, but he never got it and he got killed.
The child, who lived just streets away in Edwardstown, suffered massive head injuries and died instantly. Police were unable to interview the train driver after the accident, as he was taken away for medical treatment, suffering severe shock. Locals say this has always been a bad intersection for both pedestrians and cars, with many minor accidents over the years, and there have been calls for better signals and safer boom gates. Transit Police will now prepare a report for the State Coroner. Susan Harrington, 7 News.
A tight-knit school community is in mourning after an 11-year-old girl died in a freak fireworks accident at a school fete in Brisbane. 6 others were injured, one critically, when a wayward firework exploded into the crowd.
Paramedics treated the injured right where they'd been cut down by shrapnel.
We've got one 31-year-old female unconscious but possibly breathing. There's also a 13-year-old with the CPR in progress and another male with his leg blown off.
The Oval at Bray Park Holy Spirit was a disaster scene. Dozens of people with cuts and burns were treated at the school. Police even searched bushland in case some of them, disorientated by the blast, had wandered off.
Really big bomb, about 2 metres high by about 10 metres in diameter. Sideways explosion.
11-year-old Dominic Baxendale suffered massive injuries. They could not revive her. 4 other children were injured. One lost part of his foot. A 38-year-old man who was helping light the fireworks lost his leg. Another woman, massive head injuries. Just metres from the explosion, in the chapel, stunned members of the school gathered. They returned this morning in their hundreds for an emotional service.
Everyone in the community here is in shock.
Police began their investigation, trying to locate as much of the shrapnel as possible.
We know that the explosive detonated, and it would appear that it may have detonated the casing, but we can't confirm that at this stage.
Peter Doherty, 7 News.
A man and 3 young children on a bushwalking expedition have spent a harrowing morning stuck on a rugged cliff face in the foothills. A full-scale rescue operation was launched by Star Group Police as concerned relatives looked on.
A bushwalking adventure turned into a rock-climbing nightmare for Jim Savage, his sons Zach and Ryan and nephew Jesse. Star Group Police were called in. They climbed around the back of the quarry, abseiled down and harnessed up each of the 4, the youngest just 7 years old. Paramedics were on hand just in case, and with rocks falling around the climbers, it was a nail-biting operation.
Your final child has been lowered, safe and well.
Incredibly, none of the 4 was hurt, just a bit tired and thirsty and glad it was all over.
We went to climb up there because it looked easy, and when we tried to climb down, it was hard to get, and we called for help.
What were we doing up there? That was my main thought. I just want to get the kids home, okay?
Was it a scary experience though?
Yeah, it was very scary.
The group was lucky to be found. An Athelston resident about a kilometre away called police after hearing their screams for help. It's not the first time police have rescued climbers from the area.
The main difficulty was securing them up there and protecting them from falling rocks above.
Their advice is to stick to the trails, and that's exactly what Jim and the boys will be doing from now on. Jessica Sullivan, 7 News.
The locust plague in the state's mid-north is set to spread to the city and suburbs. Experts say come spring we'll be inundated by the pests, forcing the government to allocate an extra $2 million in this week's budget to fight them. But the opposition says any extra money should be spent on our hospitals.
It's shaping up to be our worst locust plague since the 1930s. They've invaded our agricultural areas and now millions of eggs have been laid in the dirt. On top of that, the experts are predicting a massive fly-in, swarms 100 kilometres wide from the Channel Country in Queensland.
I think coming through the city you will see swarms if in fact it's as bad as we think it'll be. But that also means that our horticultural areas, our wine areas, a whole range of areas within the state need to be well and truly alert.
The government set aside an extra $2 million in the budget. Fruit fly and grasshoppers will also be targeted. Meanwhile, the opposition wants priority given to our public health system. Mike Rand says hospitals need a massive injection of funds in Thursday's budget.
I mean, our hospitals have been cut and cut and cut again over the last 6 years and have now essentially reached crisis point.
We're treating now about 60,000 more people through our hospital system as admissions a year compared to 6 years ago.
Phil Luke, 7 News.
And coming up on 7 News, more sensational allegations on cricket match fixing. And the Olympic torch officially in Australian hands as it heads for the Pacific.
Travolta goes ballistic. Ain't it cool? He holds the world to ransom, and only one man can stop him. I'll be right back. The action movie blockbuster, Broken Arrow, tonight 8:30 on 7.
Okay, some dreams can't come true, but yours can with Visa, the only card accepted at the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games.
No matter where you want to live in this great southern land, the Great Southern Loan fits you down to the ground with no ongoing fees. Fully automated telephone transaction services, professional assistance and advice, and a linked account to your salary that you can access for bills and expenses. The Great Southern Loan is the safest and most secure fully optioned non-bank loan at a lower than bank rate. Check out or switch to the Great Southern Loan today. Call 8211 8611 now.
And he's away and he's approaching the camera. It's the stainless steel pedal bin. The products appear to be selling themselves at $19.99 there for the silver. Oh, and he's gone the Linda cordless kettle. That's only at $24.99, fabulous. Oh, and he's gone the Citizen battery-operated toothbrush at $9.99. Don't forget the replacement brushes at $2.99. Oh, he's got the stylish bread box there in assorted colours. Look at the other colour there, beautiful. Where did that come from? TV video stand, $19.99. Oh, and the chairs, $19.99. He's finished with the water lamp, $69.99.
Heather Turland, marathon runner, Commonwealth gold medalist and mother of 4.
My biggest achievement is definitely raising a family. Winning a gold medal was amazing, but this lot certainly keep life in perspective. Being a marathon runner, I'm conscious about nutrition and my family benefit from that. Nutella spread on toast is one of our regular family favourites. It's full of hazelnuts, skim milk and cocoa, which makes Nutella taste so great.
Nutella, more than just a delicious taste.
A spider that's big enough to eat frogs. A bird with tennis ball-sized eyes. Fact or fiction? Tarantulas can live for 20 years. Mess with them, they'll mess with you. On Giants, Monday.
Police have found the body of gunman Nigel Parodi in bushland near his home in Brisbane. The 32-year-old was the country's most wanted man after shooting 3 police officers earlier this month. His decomposed body was found by sniffer dogs this afternoon. It was partly covered over by leaves, a rifle nearby. Cricket's battered reputation has suffered another blow with fresh allegations of match fixing. Caught out in an undercover investigation, former Pakistan captain Salam Malik has allegedly admitted to fixing matches in the past, including one game involving Australia.
Salam Malik has already been cleared twice of match fixing, but the latest allegations could see the former Pakistan skipper caught in another investigation, along with members of the 1994 Australian team. A London newspaper claims Malik told reporters who were posing as a major gambling syndicate that he could fix any cricket match for around $1.3 million, and had done so in the past. The players will agree, he said, we've all done it before. It's better than dealing drugs. Pakistan's controversial 1999 World Cup loss to Bangladesh was held up as a fixed match, along with a 1994 game between Australia and Pakistan. According to London's News of the World, Malik claimed that match had been doubly fixed, with both sides trying to lose. We were trying to get them to score runs against us, and they wouldn't. We were trying to get ourselves out, and they wouldn't get us out. The London paper claims to have videotaped the meetings with Malik and says the tapes will be handed over to the police and the International Cricket Council. Kevin Berishon, 7 News.
The Olympic flame is on the next leg of its journey to Australia after the handover ceremony in Greece. It will spend the next 17 days crisscrossing the Pacific, starting in Guam early tomorrow.
After the long haul from Australia, it looked good as it came in over Athens, the Ansett jet here to carry the flame. It landed as the torch relay came back from the Greek islands for the final run into Athens and the handover to Sydney. It was a beautiful Athens night, clear and warm. The ceremony was held in the stadium where the modern Olympics began in 1896. Greece's triple jump champion, the last runner, ending the 10-day relay. After Olympia, where the flame wouldn't light, the speeches were long and the band was awful, the Greeks made sure this one was right.
Who proudly bear it to Sydney as the symbol of the Olympic ideal.
Burning in a safety lamp, it's Australia's flame now. It can't go out until the games are over. On the plane, the flame will ride up front, the lanterns mounted in special cradles in business class. There are 4 lanterns, 2 are always burning. The flame's headed for Guam, 20 hours away. In Athens, Paul Marshall, 7 News.
Well, it's on its way. It's going to happen.
It'll be here soon.
The flame's coming. Now, more dramas today at Colonial.
Well, drama for Collingwood. They dropped their 6th game in a row. But Ben Cousins, West Coast star, he slipped on the surface and injured himself. So
had to
not
happen.
good. We'll have that and the rest of the day's football after the break, as well as our Olympic swimmers relaxing after the trials. And Chelsea grabs the FA Cup with a single goal.
Can you hear us?
Stop! You two might want to be a little less conspicuous.
To catch a killer, Ali's going undercover. Think anyone will notice?
FBI!
And the most shocking piece of news since Ali began. Monday on 7.
Some dying love that shines around me like a million suns that calls me on and on across the universe. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna...
Oh, heavens, I've been on my wings all day.
Time for today's afternoon treat. Philly. 60% less fat than butter or margarine, and it tastes like paradise. And crumbs. Crumbs. Ow. Nobody looks there anyway.
Philadelphia, a little taste of heaven.
This place is a mess.
If you have a passion for anything technical, the Navy can offer you the job you've always wanted, only on a much larger scale.
So get qualified and call 13 1901 today.
Want to win 2 seats at the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games? Not just any seats, the best seats. At Stadium Australia, you and the one you love will see the opening ceremony and both 100-metre finals. Simply buy 2 or more Dunlop tyres before July the 1st. You'll also get the best seats for 16 swimming finals. Even your airfares and accommodation are on us. The Dunlop Tyres Best Seats in the House competition. From your Olympic supporter, Dunlop Tyres.
David Jones is pleased to announce 30% of women's quality sleepwear and dressing gowns, including Gavoni, Anywhere, Anytime and Kay Jones. But hurry, this offer is for a limited time only.
David Jones.
Welcome back. The Adelaide Crows faced Melbourne at Football Park this afternoon, desperate to keep their season alive. We're halfway through Adelaide telecast of the match. The second half follows the news, so if you don't want to know the final score, please look away now. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights.
Into their forward half. Big punch by Simmons gives White the chance. He feeds it off to Leon Chally. Gee, they should score a goal here. Robinson goes long and accurately forces with the left foot out wide. Oh, great leap and mark by Adamuzzi.
Oh, that was fantastic.
There's kicks with the left. Jarman leaves it behind. Now Melbourne through Whelan, tries to get the ball clear. Edwards straighten up, kick with the left and kick a goal for the Crows.
He's in front, he went to ground.
Goal.
McLeod should stroll in and kick a goal, and the Crows are in front.
Just going straight down the ground. Gee, they'll get clear here, won't they? Rashudo reading the ball off the pack to McLeod. McLeod to Jarman.
It's on fire.
And the Collingwood Army is hurting after their hot pies have suddenly gone cold, crashing to their 6th loss on the trot. West Coast home by 36 points, but we could be hearing more about Ben Cousins, who was injured after slipping on the Colonial Stadium turf.
For Mick Malthouse, this was a chance to beat the side that he guided to 2 flags, but the first quarter is one Mick would rather forget, as Cousins provided Cummings with his first, while Braun added to the Pies' woes with a clever snap.
Bends it back around the body and picks another one.
Freeborn finally booted Collingwood first, while Philip Matera ran down Lockyer, and he made no mistake with the Eagles' 5th goal.
He's got it.
Everything was going the Eagles' way, Matera always the opportunist. And Cummings' freakish snap gave the West Coast a 37-point lead at quarter time. Malthouse wasn't impressed, but the Pies showed far more commitment in the second term to bridge the Eagles' lead to 23 points at half-time. The Eagles made a promising start to the third quarter, only to lose Cousins soon after. When Patterson goaled right on three-quarter time, the Eagles' lead was back to 26 points. But Garrick asserted his dominance in the final quarter, helping his side to a 6-goal victory.
Oh, I don't think we threw it in at any stage, but I'm certainly not happy at all. I thought our skill level was poor.
And Brisbane has just broken Sydney hearts. The Swans led at every change, but the Lions ran them down, winning by 3 points. The Swans have now won just 1 of their last 8 games.
11th against 12th, both clubs desperate for a win. The Swans needing their fans to keep the faith. Adam Goods led by example.
Kicks a goal. Adam Goods, you are a beauty.
The signs weren't good for the Lions. Alistair Lynch flooring teammate Sean Hart. The Swans produced one of their best quarters this season, 4 goals clear at the break. Even when Brisbane threatened, Sydney responded, able to maintain that 24-point buffer. The switch to white shorts, more of a fashion statement than anything, but with Leap and Leo in full flight and a welcome dose of renewed confidence, the Swans were dazzling.
Bolton kicks a goal.
But then a complete turnaround. The Lions bagged 5 unanswered goals. Andrew Dunkley was on ice, Swan supporters even getting a spray from the SCG sprinklers. Coach Eade couldn't believe what he was seeing, and there was no respite. Brisbane full of running, drawing level, then drawing away. O'Loughlin gave the Swans hope, but it was the Lions by 3 points. The Swans' 5th loss by less than 9 points this season. Lisa Dalton, 7 News.
To soccer, and Chelsea has won the English FA Cup for the 3rd time. A single goal to Roberto Di Matteo settled the issue in front of almost 80,000 fans.
With Wembley about to be demolished and rebuilt, it was the last FA Cup to be played under the famous Twin Towers. Despite the millions of dollars worth of talent on display, it was far from a classic. Precious little to excite the vast crowd in the first half, with Chelsea captain Dennis Wise producing the only shot on target. Wise was Chelsea's heartbeat in the midfield, and he thought he'd put his team ahead early in the second half. But the linesman's flag was raised. Liberian striker George Weah straight offside. But Chelsea's multinational team was in command and creating the better openings. The winner wasn't long in coming.
James slots it and it's in!
Roberto Di Matteo was Chelsea's FA Cup hero 3 years ago, and he bobbed up again on 73 minutes. Aston Villa keeper David James couldn't handle Zola's free kick, and the Italian slammed the ball into the top of the net. 1 or 2 nervous moments in the closing stages, but Chelsea held on.
Congratulations to Aston Villa, of course, but I think we did a little bit more to deserve to win the match.
Paul Dowling, 7 News.
Australia's head swimming coach Don Talbot says this team is potentially our greatest. Based on rankings, the team is expected to win 9 gold medals at the Sydney Olympics.
For our swimmers, the chance to relax after a pressure week in the pool. Don Talbot breaking with tradition and sending an ominous warning to the rest of the world, including the Americans, that we're ready for any challenge come Sydney.
This team has set a benchmark now for the world to go at, and in the next few months we're going to see all the major swimming nations of the world trying to match our times and better them if they can.
Victoria has clean sweep the Olympic badminton team after all 6 members, including a full-time policewoman, were announced today.
Leave to police officers is quite precious, you know, to spend time with their families, and for them to give that up for me to train. Without them, I wouldn't have made the team.
An action-packed day in the touring cars in Darwin. Mark Scaife managing to avoid the pile-up to win the opening 2 races. Not such good news for teammate Craig Lowndes, with the Commodore shredding a tyre. Garth Tander won race 3, but the day belonged to Scaife.
And for tonight, that is our sports. Stay with us after the news for the second half from Football Park. But Mick Molehouse, if you're back at Victoria Park, absolutely bleeding.
What happened to Geelong last year? Won 5, then just lost a big
lost 9.
Right in the middle of it.
I think Mick will be hoping that they can win one very shortly.
Mick's not good when he's not happy.
It's not good when he's happy.
Shirley has weather details next, and another fine day ahead.
Standard rim blocks quickly lose fragrance and become sticky. But AmbiPur Flush, the world's first liquid rim block, gives constant fragrance flush after flush. With every flush, AmbiPur circulates a concentrated fragrance liquid and cleans the bowl hygienically. And it's available in 4 fragrances: ocean, forest, citrus and fruits. AmbiPur Flush cleans and constantly freshens because it's AmbiPur.
Need help finding the best value insurance? Well, if you insure your car for private use, and either your home or home contents with SGIC, we'll give you a 10% discount on each policy, and you can pay your premiums monthly. Just call SGIC on 133 233.
Everything has a story to tell, of times it has seen, of the places it's been, of the emotions it has experienced, of the lives it has shared. Every item has a story to tell, a story which you can be part of with a piece from Adelaide Exchange Jewellers Antique and Estate Jewellery. But if you want to start a new page, a fresh story, let Adelaide Exchange Jewellers help with a superb selection of excitingly designed and newly crafted pieces that give you the perfect opening paragraph. Make it a part of your life, a part of the story you write, whether you're continuing a moment in history or beginning a brand new chapter. Adelaide Exchange Jewellers, more than just a jewellery store, at Tea Tree Plus and 7 days at City and Glenelg.
You must see South Australia's largest lounge specialist, Discount Lounge Centre, the lounge specialist at the lowest price, or it's free. Any size, colour, combination, you name it, we'll do it. The lounge experts, we have to be, it's all we do. Discount Lounge Centre, Brunella, Parafield and Keswick.
Coming up, all the action from the second half of the Crows-Demons clash from Football Park. Next on 7 Sport. Then Dharma and Greg.
Hello again. We had a cold and cloudy start to the day. In fact, our overnight low dropped down to 5.7, which was the coldest night we've had this year. And our top temperature only reached 15.7 at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Currently, it's 12 degrees in the city. On our satellite picture tonight, there's not very much cloud to talk about, apart from this jet stream here across the centre of the continent and this low-level cloud in the south. Well, taking to the skies, that cloud over the northwest doesn't contain any moisture, but the cloud in the south did produce a few showers overnight in the western agricultural areas last night. We're taking a look at tonight's charts. This high will dominate over the next few days, so we'll get fine and partly cloudy days until Wednesday with light to moderate variable winds. We are expecting a few cold fronts to pass well south of our state, with only one on Wednesday moving up high enough to give us a few showers. Around the country tomorrow, fine in Perth, Darwin and Alice Springs. Some patchy rain forecast for Broome. Showers in Brisbane and Hobart, but fine elsewhere. Well, back in our state, we had a few drops in Elliston overnight, but there was no rainfall recorded in the 6 hours to 3 p.m. Temperatures were about average, ranging from 21 degrees at several northern stations down to 12 degrees at Mount Crawford. Our forecast is for another cold night with early morning fog and inland frosts, and then we're in for another cool to mild day tomorrow, but it will stay dry right across the state with light southwest to southeast winds. On our local waters, the next few days are going to be excellent for boating and fishing. We'll get calm seas tomorrow with northwest to west winds of only 5 to 10 knots and then seas down to ½ a metre. In the city, dropping down to 8 tonight and then warming up to a fine day with a top of 17 degrees. And looking ahead, Tuesday fine with a top of 18. Wednesday a few early showers and 17, but mainly fine again on Thursday. And taking a look at our 7-day outlook, we are expecting a cold change and a few showers later on the week around Friday, with temperatures dropping down to the mid-teens. So it doesn't look very good for the weekend. That's it from me. Norma will tell you more about that tomorrow night, so it's back to you, John. Good night.
Thanks, Cheryl. Stay with us now as we take you back to Footy Park for the second half of the Crows versus Melbourne. See you next weekend. Good night.
man's son talk to me in school in front of my friends. We all thought that he liked me, because why else would he talk to me? Now I find out that I have to deal with him because he could be my stepbrother.
Once and Again starts Tuesday on 7.
There's more to the new tax system than just the GST. From the 1st of July, every Australian taxpayer will get a tax break with cuts to personal income tax. A whole lot of unfair, complicated, hidden sales taxes will be abolished. Family assistance will be increased. Childcare benefits will be increased. Also from July 1, there'll be tax cuts and other benefits for people who invest their savings. Eligible self-funded retirees and pensioners with savings will get a break with untaxed savings bonuses. All government pensions and allowances will be increased and guaranteed to stay above the cost of living. It's a tax system that will move our country forward. Tax reform, because we shouldn't hold Australia back. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
With a Bank SA Amazing Grace loan, you can put off repayments on a new home while you're selling your old one for up to 6 months. Should you need to move in a hurry.
I didn't know what to do about the GST. Then I got QuickBooks accounting software. It's really easy to use, as over 100,000 Australian small businesses like me already know. Now I'm GST ready, I can get on with building my business.
QuickBooks from Quicken from just $199.
Welcome back to Football Park. We're just about ready for the start of this second half, and as you can see, it's the Adelaide Crows in front, 7-7-49 to 3 goals, 10-28. Melbourne unable to score a major in the second quarter. The Crows banging on 6 goals. Let's get down to Neil Curley, who's down the boundary.
Yeah, thanks very much, Anna. Well, complete turnaround from the game then on what we saw in the first quarter. Those Melbourne supporters back in Melbourne watching will be very disappointed with your team's second quarter effort. They just couldn't get through the half-forward area. The Crows' defence became very, very strong. Farmer was taken out of the game virtually by Smart. Hart was very good. Bassett was very good. And it was just, there just wasn't one Melbourne forward that could stand up and really give the team an avenue through there for a chance of a goal. And then, of course, when they did have shots, they missed goals they should have taken. But it's the midfield that's doing the damage for the Crows. They're on top there. Rashida's on top. Burton's on top. McLeod in a forward roving role this quarter, or this game, is much more effective than last week. And also their forwards are finding a bit of the footy. So Melbourne have got to make some changes. It'll be interesting to see what Neil Danaher does this quarter.
Well, Woden is still on Darren Jarman at full forward. And we're underway in the third quarter. Simmons is back in the ruck, as you can see, beaten for it by Marsh. Whelan's kick went out to Walsh. Swartz makes the lead. He goes just a fraction longer than that. And Robertson, who's really made a contest, hasn't he, across half forward?
Great mark in front of Mark Bashuto. Mark Bashuto's been moved out of the centre momentarily. Brett James has gone in there, and he's on McDonald in the back pocket.
Well, Neitz is the truck that's gone forward for Melbourne. He's been paid the mark.
3 pairs of hands on that ball. Let's have a look at it.
I reckon it was a Neitz mark.
He had the momentum.
He had the best purchase on it.
Well, we don't see the hands. Brett Burton's making no mistake in letting the umpire say that at least I had some of it.
At quarter time, when Adelaide were 2 goals behind, both you and Curls have done a lot of coaching. You wouldn't have been concerned, would you? Surely.
Well, you'd be worried, but you know there's a long time to go, and you know that you've had lots of entries into the 50, and your kicking hasn't been accurate. It's just a matter of time, perhaps. But the midfield dominance of Melbourne was worrying.
Neitz didn't really look that good through the air. And the result, a rush behind Melbourne, now 3-11. And Adelaide 7-7-49.
Has Neitz been moved forward? Sorry, Curls? Has Neitz been moved forward? Or towards the end of the second term.
There's no way that they both had equal purchase. That should have been a bounce.
Well, it's all over Red Rover. They got it behind as a result of the David Neitz kick, but it's Bassett kicking it wide, and that's a pretty good effort down at ground level by Stengline. Handball to Robran. Robran, the kick over his left shoulder. Got pretty good distance. Stephen Phoebe tackled, didn't have the ball. And it goes clear to Marsh, who very skillfully gets the ball away. Edwards combining with James. James's little left foot kick, chopped off. Perry trying to just keep it alive for Adelaide at half forward. Now Mark Bickley, handball away. James will kick a goal. First goal of the second half to James and Adelaide.
Ever wanted to have your in-laws arrested?
Can we pull them over? Edward, are you speeding?
You and the Mercedes pull over and prepare to be strip searched.
Edward, do something.
Here's $100. Tuck it in your bra and flirt a little. A revealing Dahmer and Greg tonight, 7:30.
Why are you seeing a therapist?
To talk.
About me?
Dick, that's between me and my therapist.
But tell me.
No.
Please.
No. So what are you going to eat?
That's between me and my waiter.
Third Rock, tonight at 8.
Well, that is a big one, isn't it, for Adelaide and for Melbourne, I guess. Simmons and Marsh. Johnson couldn't get much on it. McLeod, Rigoni. We've got the numbers, Melbourne, perhaps to get away and get forward. Whelan's kick. Maybe a chance here for Leoncelli, but Hart first to get back. He's losing his footing. He regains it and he takes it over, which is what he wanted to do all the time. And he did it pretty well.
Well, not a pretty contest, but both players desperate. Ben Hart landing up pretty well on David Neitz. It'll be a big job for him. But Neitz chasing, harassing, wraps him up in the tackle, takes him out of bounds.
Well, Melbourne desperately need to get it forward from here. Some pretty good tackling, allowing Powell, now Swartz, to try and set something up. White into the pocket. Bassett, terrific stuff.
And
been pretty good, Bassett.
Well, he certainly has. He's not the most stylish defender you've ever seen, but he plays in front. There's the score. That's all you have to do. He's a left-hander. Spoils with his left hand. And he does very, very well.
Swartz trying to do it himself. Farmer, can he drill this one? No, he tried to fashion it around, but another behind. So
Ryan.
Melbourne 3-12 now.
Right, I'm just going
Four
to
behinds. Sorry.
That's okay. Sorry, that Hart Neitz one. The danger, of course, is in the air with Neitz, but once the ball comes to ground, it's see you later with Hart. He's too good down there.
Bassett goes to Goodwin. Goodwin into the centre. Marsh. Good selection there because he released Andrew McLeod off the left. He had an option off the right, which was Rashudo. The kick goes forward, and a good contest right in front of the Adelaide Crows goal, chopped off by Peter Walsh. Walsh goes across the full back line. Not a real good kick, but it's gathered by Phoebe. They can go all the way down the other side of the ground here. Simmons, he's got a player further afield in Robertson, gets back onto his right, kicks in towards the centre of the ground. Leoncelli just loping. Schwartz is strife. James has got him. Back to Leoncelli. Leoncelli now doesn't mess around on this occasion, but Marsh will take the mark. Getting back to help out the key defenders.
That's what you like a ruckman to do, back in front of David Neitz.
Handball off to the experienced campaigner in Rashudo. Likewise to Smart. Now Bassett running down the ground. Could have nearly taken a second bounce. Decided on a kick to half forward. Perry and Gergich. Perry, gee, just missed out there, didn't he? His tap on was a good thought, but Walsh is there for Melbourne. Handball over the top. Simmons releases now Uze. Uze's got to get a fair bit more of the football in towards the middle. Schwartz couldn't take the mark. Rigoni left it behind, and Adelaide will lock it up, and the umpire might have to bounce here. So it is probably a bonus there for Adelaide because Melbourne looked as though they were going to break clear from that half-back line.
You know, the value of one grab football cannot be overestimated, and Guy Rigoni just taking two grabs at it allowed the Adelaide defence to tackle and close the ball down.
Crows looking very dangerous. Melbourne having to use the ball a lot to get it forward. Swartz.
He's trying, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Simmons, cruel bounce. Did pretty well, but McLeod did better. And they're away. Robran. Oh, poor handball. Bickley trying to recover. McDonald. McLeod. He is a magnet to the ball. But he's away, broke the tackle. It was an untidy-looking kick.
Was it? I reckon it was absolutely magic.
He had in mind Vardy, and that's exactly where he found.
I think you're very unkind to him there, Anthony. I'm sure he ignored Jarman.
Well, so do I, Graham. I reckon his eyes had only Peter Vardy.
We don't see it. So
I wouldn't mind all the players kicking untidily like that.
You'd love to sit under it, girls.
I'm actually going home. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. See you later.
Peter Vardy will kick for goal. Peter Vardy has kicked a couple. The one in the second term was just too easy from Melbourne's point of view. That shot at goal by Vardy is Adelaide's second goal of the term.
Ci tengo alla mia macchina, sai, è proprio un amore. Capirai, quindi, mi è venuto quasi un attacco cardiaco quando ha cominciato a fare bang, bang, bang. L'ho portato subito oltre Ciune e il meccanico mi ha detto che si trattava del timing. Hanno fatto la diagnosi, me l'hanno aggiustata e non mi hanno fatto pagare mica tanto, sai. Oltre Ciune, brava gente. I speak my language.
What a beautiful looking pass that was to set that goal up too, I say, by Andrew McLeod, right?
Gee, there were two players that are really damaging signs for Melbourne, Peter Vardy and Darren Jarman, alongside each other up on that full forward line for Adelaide. And they've got it up there again within scoring distance. Vardy hooks the kick, Jarman. He is just a very, very clever, smart Australian footballer.
He's got a football instinct that can't be taught. Well, he might have learned it when he was a kid playing footy in the backyard with his brother. But he's got a magnificent football instinct.
Well, third goal coming up for Darren Jarman, and Adelaide kick away at the start of the third term.
With Medibank Private, lifetime health cover is a breeze. Now, I don't have to worry about a thing. Hospital cover, extras, it's all taken care of. They make it so easy to afford. I was already feeling better, but now, all of this.
Lucky you joined Medibank.
I feel better now.
Off the ground.
That is unusual because coming into this game, you would have thought Melbourne may have had a distinct advantage in ruck.
Well, I'm surprised he hasn't spent more time in the middle. Simmons has been a really good player for them in recent weeks, but I thought in a crisis, you would think that they would turn to Jeff White in the ruck, Graham.
Yes, well, you've got such mobile, athletic big men, and I must say I've been impressed with Simmons. But White's one of the young superstars of the competition, and unless he's injured, you're not likely to have him on the field.
Didn't look injured when he went off. Big chance coming up for the Crows again. That wasn't the greatest looking kick, if I'm allowed to say that. The ball going forward. Over the top of it. The umpire deciding where to bounce.
That was a poor pass.
Melbourne's concerns will be the fact that they've only been able to kick 3 goals in 2.5 quarters of football.
White coming back on now.
Well, you'd think Simmons will come off fairly shortly after this. The runner telling him the message while he's about to do a ruck contest. Seems strange. Lee and Shelley couldn't take it with him. Powell. They might be able to get away here. Got numbers across half-back. Whelan.
Gone.
Phoebe. McDonald. It's now Nathan Brown who's on the ground. Smart goes out wide. Walsh and Vardy rode the butt pretty well. Walsh right there with him. He played for a free. Could have almost got one. James floated the handball. Edwards. O'Loughlin. Into the square, Perry and Gergic conceding.
I'm going to see Arian Williams and get a saddle for that fella.
I'll tell you what, though, Neil, Brett James has been very good in this third quarter.
Well, he's always very good in close, and because he's got such lightning-quick hands, he is very effective if he gets possession of the ball. But the Melbourne boys are starting to fumble a bit, Graham.
Well, it has been that sort of day. Getting back to Brett James, though, the Adelaide coaching staff don't appear to have had a lot of confidence in him over the last 6 months.
White is on the ground now, so obviously got some instructions from Neil Danaher, and then into the ruck and see if he can turn this potentially disastrous situation around for Melbourne. 3-12 playing 10-8 as they go through. Uze on the wing, dummied the handball to try and open things up. A low kick. Wheatley's on the ground, provided a lead, but Bassett able to withstand it, and it opens up for them on the wing. They can raffle out there. Burton, Goodwin, Rashudo pushing forward. Biglands over the top of it, somehow got it out. Burton might have another try. It's a little untidy. Some good heavy work by Rashudo off the ball. Perry kicks the ball inside 50. Oh, riding it beautifully, Vardy. Went off the left. He went off the left, and that is an unbelievable effort. It is only resulting in a behind.
Gee, the difference confidence makes. At the moment, the Adelaide players are running confident. Their back line is really on the front foot. They're not always using the ball cleanly, but because they're getting so many players around the ball, they're being able to mop up.
A lot of uncertainty by the Demons too with their ball handling and passing.
Jeff Farmer being taken from the ground.
And it's Luke Williams taking the place there of Farmer as Melbourne have the ball around the middle. Rigoni kicks towards Schwartz and finds him. He marks safely on his chest. Robertson is running, and that's the direction in that Schwartz has gone to. Robertson kicked 2 of Melbourne's 3 goals in the first term, and it was 19.5 minutes of the first term that the 3rd goal was scored for Melbourne. So they've gone goalless for, gee whiz, nearly 2 quarters. We're pretty well halfway through this 3rd quarter now.
Geez, been a busy player. He's taken his 9th mark. He'll come in for possession number 13. This will be kick number 11.
But more importantly, he just has to kick a goal for Melbourne. And he hooks it through for a behind. 2-2 now to Russell Robertson. 3 behinds to David Schwartz. 4 behinds to Jeffrey Farmer. And a couple of behinds to Russell Robertson. Ben Hart kicks in, finds Smart. He's able to handball over the top to Bassett. Bassett to Steady. Kicks to a disputed situation on the centre wing, gathered here by Rigoni. He goes in towards half forward, and the mark is taken by Williams, has just come onto the ground. This is Anthony McDonald. Lovely flying shot at goal by Anthony McDonald is just off to the left, through for a behind. Anthony McDonald's first score in this game.
Wonder you, Graham, with most of the football being played on the other side this quarter, would you swing Burton over to the other flank? I would, on the other wing.
I think Adelaide are going all right at the moment, Kills.
And always get better.
Melbourne 3-14.
Yeah, 11 straight behinds. The Demons, and certainly a few of them early were snaps, but the last probably 5 or 6 have been very kickable. Schwartz manages to get it clear. Hard one there for Neitz. Robertson again involved. He had the dish-off handball. Eventually, he gave it out. McDonald had to wait a long time for it. Did pretty well to create an opportunity for Nathan Brown. He fires away at goal, but misses as well. So that's 12 straight behinds now.
Boots on the other foot, isn't it? On Monday night, when the Demons beat Brisbane, and Brisbane had a scoreline where they added 11 behinds before they kicked another goal. Ricky O'Loughlin coming off the ground, and James Byrne will take his place as Bassett goes short and effectively finds Stengline. He dishes it off. Rashudo, with plenty of time to look down the ground, goes in short. It clean bowls about 5 players there. At the back was White. Wheeland in towards the centre of the ground. Brown, hand pass. Powell, who had 17 possessions in the first half, in the direction of Wheatley. But, Bodgie, if you don't get it at your first chance, they mop up beautifully the Crows' defence. On this occasion, it is Ben Hart, whose kick finds the safety of a boundary throw-in on centre wing in favour, in front of a big crowd here at Football Park, a predominantly Adelaide Crows supporter base. Probably 95% of maybe over 40,000 fans here, barracking hard for the Adelaide side in search of their 4th victory. The ball kicked forward. Demons. Now, the umpires found a free kick. Robertson was about to sweep away with the ball. The free kick will go to Robran.
It's unusual because he was behind. He was behind in that marking contest.
At half back. Goes out wide. White just has to stand tall now, Jeff White.
That's more like him.
Brent Gergich kicks it forward to a one-on-one, but gee whiz, Ben Marsh had the leap there on Neitz.
He's growing in stature every game.
Robran, Bickley off half-back. Oh, Perry!
Oh, that's magnificent. That's magnificent.
What a lift from Perry. Byrne, probing kick. Back with the flight was Bassett. Jarman off the left, a bouncing shot, which looked fantastic in flight, but missed.
Where I sit, though, boys, Melbourne are just starting to get their toe back in the door.
Ian Perry over the top, but he's seeing them and he's going for them. He's not going to die wondering, and he's provided a real target in the forward lines for Adelaide.
It was a great leap and mark, wasn't it? That's a free kick to Melbourne.
Has to be. How spectacular is that? How tough are these young men, too? Nathan Brown, if you see that in replay, he just catapulted over, almost flipped and hits his head on the ground.
Did well, and then kicked it short to White. White is at left half-back, in towards the middle. Important here, Stephen Phoebe dispossessed, but he goes after it at the second attempt. Brown, now Powell, on the end of a chain of hand passes. They're breaking down, aren't they, across that half-forward line. On this occasion, Uze gathers the crumbs, kicks in towards full forward. Ben Hart gets back and takes a safe mark right on the goal line.
It's had a patchy start to the year by his standards, but this game has been very good for Ben Hart.
Kicker's got to have good penetration. It was meant for Goodwin. Gathered by Robertson, short, finds Williams.
Russell Robertson's got the ball on a string today.
Adelaide have kicked 3 goals, 3 so far in this third term. The Demons have added 5 behinds.
They're just starting to work a bit better, though, Ian. They're starting to control the ball better and find some loose players.
Just with all the chances that you get, though, Curls, you've got to put goals on the scoreboard, don't you?
Exactly right.
Well, Williams, he's missed everything.
You won't win games kicking like that.
Yes, but it becomes an epidemic, doesn't it? Just watch this replay here. Oh, look at that. Hits him. It bounces to his feet.
Well, nearly in rugby terms classified as a spear tackle, wasn't it? But he came out of it quite safely, which was good. Robran throwing the ball. Or being dispossessed illegally, I suppose. And in the finish, a free kick goes to Wheatley. I thought he could have probably come on a little earlier. He's a live wire, and he's been pretty good for the Demons. He thumps the ball goalwards, and in his endeavours to get the distance, has hooked it too far and kicked it out on the full. Adelaide free kick in the right back pocket will be taken by Bickley.
Why would you kick there? Why would you put it on the front of the goal square?
I think they're desperate.
Well,
they're very desperate.
He went for distance, Curls, and hooked it.
Yeah, I think Curls making a very good point, though. They need to just set it up and keep some system. They are getting plenty of chances. They're just not able to capitalise. But on the rebound, smart, long and probing. Woden and Jarman. Fingertips to it. Good work from Perry to keep it alive. Stenglein overran it. Jarman. Woden, great tackle. Managed to get the handball back, though, to keep it alive. Vardy standing start. That's how you do it. That is how you find the middle. He's got 4.
This is the new Mitsubishi V6 SI, boasting $5,000 in extras at no extra charge. Exceptional sports performance can be yours from only $28,740. And this is the Lancer VRX, featuring streetwear body kit and sports instrumentation, and all from only $19,990. Get one before June 30. One winner will receive $1 million. Get smart. Get a Mitsubishi. Get rich.
Danaher reacting. Farmer coming back on the ground, and Bruce and Wheatley and Williams both off.
Still goalless, Melbourne, since the 19.5-minute mark of the first term. You won't win many football matches when you go that long without kicking a goal. Nathan Brown, hand pass. Schwartz across that half-back line. Now Walsh jumped early. Advantage. It was a free kick, so the advantage with Adelaide. Burton in towards half-forward. The crumbs on the Adelaide forward line have been gathered just... It is monotonous, but on this occasion, Vardy misses. He can do no wrong, but yes, he can on that occasion. Missed everything, Peter Vardy.
Yes, Andrew McLeod having a run on across half forward and crumbing beautifully. Peter Vardy trying to be a bit too clever with the left foot, trying to bend it around. Sometimes a simple drop punt is all you need.
Oh, precision there, wasn't it?
Centimetre perfect.
It was a kick by Ingerson. Found Woden. There wasn't much margin for error there, was there?
Right on the line.
Woden. Well, you would think if if Melbourne came in here and close to three-quarter time they could predict that Adelaide would only kick 11 goals, they'd back themselves as a chance of winning this game, wouldn't they? I mean, it's not a big scoreline for Adelaide so far. Walsh goes forward, and, well, he had his eyes and his name nearly written all over that, David Neitz. Wheel and well tackled by Robran. Got the handball away. Schwartz instinctively. Robertson, little left foot snap, punched away by Bassett. Still Robertson. Can he kick 3 out of 4? Snapshot by Robertson has missed for their 16th behind.
Is that about 13 behinds before a goal?
Yeah, 13 plus 2 out of bounds and a full at least this quarter.
I don't think I've seen that before.
Well, Adelaide look headed for an important win, but Farmer, maybe he can crown it this time. No.
Surely.
Well, the umpire not paying a free. Farmer kept it alive. James, he was held onto without the ball. Play on, and Edwards takes it over.
Comedy of errors there, isn't it? 42 points.
It's a good smother by Jeff Farmer. He gathered the ball, a bit of pressure from the Adelaide defender. Appeared to be legged, was Jeff Farmer. A good pressure. Adelaide defence really on the front foot.
Well, they're trying to get a clear of their full back line, and they will do so. Just a combination there between players working industriously. Look at this little kick by Bassett for Ben Hart, but punched away by Stephen Phoebe. Determined work there by the Melbourne veteran, but not quite working. His knock forward was intended for Bruce, and the football over for a throw-in.
Yes, there's almost a lethargy about the Melbourne team at the moment.
42 points in arrears they are. Bickley to Burton. Burton across his left shoulder, and mark taken by Perry, who's played pretty well. He's been a target for them at half forward for most of the game. Goodwin's kick goes up towards their half-forward line, taken over by Nathan Brown. Looking beckoningly back at the umpire as Peter Vardy for a free kick. Not forthcoming. Adelaide 11-10 lead Melbourne 3-16. Just terrible conversion by Melbourne. 3 goals from 19 scoring shots. White puts his teammate under enormous pressure. Leoncelli, gee, that goes all right when you're about 10 goals in front, but not too good when you trail by 42 points. Uze gets the kick away, but the mark is taken by James. Then Jarman in towards the middle. Oh, good strong effort by Stengline. Not paid. Bruce, he's got the ball. Umpire called play on Stengline. Marsh, Jarman, Darren loves this. Oh no, on this occasion got a little close maybe. Rashudo shrugs the tackle, and terrific harassing work by McDonald. Powell, still a chance to clear. Bruce dragged down by Bickley. Powell, handball. They haven't really given up. Their efforts have been pretty good in that little passage of play, the Demons. Phoebe to Neitz. Neitz back in towards Uze. Uze to an unguarded goal. Will it bounce through for a goal to Melbourne? Eventually, their 4th goal on the scoreboard.
Travolta goes ballistic. Ain't it cool? He holds the world to ransom, and only one man can stop him. I'll be right back. The action movie blockbuster, Broken Arrow, tonight 8:30 on 7.
Street Directory.
Check.
5th helmet.
Check.
And the footy.
Check.
Well, let's go then.
Bruce Abernathy and 580's John Dean are scouting locations to hide another $10,000 footy. Listen to 580 FM 102.3 and 7 News for clues. Weeknights on 7.
This is not a good sight. Darren Jarman limping off. He'd moved onto the ball. Mark Rashudo had gone to full forward before that previous goal for Melbourne, and he's clutching that hamstring, I'd say.
Well, I wonder if that will bring a change over this game. Melbourne have finally kicked a goal. Free kick going Adelaide's way. They've got a huge roar. I reckon they've had a pretty tough run with the umpires today, Adelaide, Graham.
We're not complaining, are we?
Robran takes it out wide. At the moment, anyway, you're in front by 6 goals.
Free kicks 10-8 in favour of Adelaide.
Yeah. Well, I still argue that they've had missed quite a few. Goodwin pokes it and gets his man, Vardy. Wasn't the most convincing of kicks, but the lead was good, and he takes the mark, and this would probably snuff out any challenge that Melbourne might make. They had a small amount of momentum by kicking a goal and Jarman's injury with only 35 seconds to go before three-quarter time.
Yeah, hamstring there.
Looked like Stephen Powell had that ball covered, but Peter Vardy came from nowhere.
So, 11-10 plays 4-16. It really is an amazing scoreline, isn't it, for Melbourne? 36 points. And Peter Vardy to make it 42. Last minute before three-quarter time. And the silence tells the story. So Peter Vardy's accuracy deserting him. He's kicked, I think, 4 goals, 2. And 1 out of bounds.
Maybe the boys on Talking Footy can dissect this rash of inaccurate kicking we see. Malcolm Blight's got his own theory on the ball, we understand, but...
Yeah, well, it's a left-footer's, right-footer's ball.
Oh, yes, that's the mark of the year so far.
And he just got it in. The three-quarter time siren has sounded. He won't kick a goal, will he? He couldn't cap it off by kicking an 80-metre goal.
He couldn't make the distance, but
he was going to try, wasn't he?
Who cares? Let's have a look at the mark again. Please, let's have a look again.
Hey, folks, this is what you come to the footy to see. Just a great leap by Brett Burton.
Oh, once. Well, maybe I got a bit carried away. It was certainly a good one, but look at the leap there. Keeps his eyes on it.
Did he actually take the mark, Graham?
Well, I would have
Who
paid
cares?
it. We've seen Gary Ablett get the mark of the year for one that he didn't control, let alone take, so...
Well, interesting quarter. Melbourne only able to kick 1 goal, but Adelaide looking controlled at Footy Park. 11-11 to 4-16.
It's really interesting because Adelaide people have always loved events, and so it's fascinating to look back at the old footage and see how they turned out in their thousands. We've got some fantastic footage, all the royal visits from those early days right through to the Fab Four.
A 7 News special continues Monday night.
With Medibank Private, lifetime health cover is a breeze. Now, I don't have to worry about a thing. Hospital cover, extras, it's all taken care of. They make it so easy to afford. I was already feeling better, but now, all of this.
Lucky you joined Medibank.
I feel better now.
It doesn't get much tougher, farming and trying to grow. It's end of year bonus time, and there's something you ought to know. Toyota means business. Come on in real soon.
If you're on the land, your Toyota dealer means business with huge end of financial year primary producers bonuses on right now. So there's no better time to move up to a new Hilux or Land Cruiser.
Toyota means business. Toyota.
Hello, Bernard Stevens from the bank. About your home loan oh, gone elsewhere. Aussie. Best home loan deal around? Low interest credit card. But, thank you.
At Aussie, we'll save you.
Napro Country Colours. Colours as brilliant as nature. An intensive colour lotion enriched with beeswax and nourishing wheat protein. Napro Country Colours. Breathtaking colours, healthy hair. From Schwarzkopf.
Come and see the real thing. Come and see the real thing. Nature's finest. Come and taste the real thing. Come and taste the real thing. Golden Valley. Yum, 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 yum.
So, you three, it seems like you've been quite the comedians, bringing your sister's underpants in for show and tell, making prank calls on the staff room phone, starting the Mexican wave at school assembly. Do you know where ratbags like you end up?
On Breakfast Radio.
Grant, Jars and Penny, the morning crew on 104.7 Triple M.
Day tonight, Adelaide's disgraced hypnotist,
unethical conduct on 3 occasions,
banned for seducing his patients.
Well, I think it's pretty despicable.
We catch him back at work and breaking the law.
I think we should continue.
6:30 on 7.
Quick look at a graphic showing Melbourne's lowest score against Adelaide in 97. Let's get down to Neil Curley, though, because he's got Brian Royal with him.
Well, Brian, a promising start, but things haven't gone well since then.
Yeah, we've probably had the opportunities inside 50, but we haven't converted on the scoreboard, Pills.
You wouldn't credit some of the shots the boys are missing.
Yeah, well, it's probably been one of our strengths this year, but today's not our day. There's no excuses. We've got to get better at it. We're getting plenty of the football, but we're just not converting.
Well, you won't give up, but it's going to be a hard task.
No, it's going to be a difficult job from here for us, but if we can pinch the first couple of goals, who knows what happens. You know, our guys are nice and fit, and they've been coming home well this year, so let's hope that they can do the same today.
All the best. Thanks Brian.
They have been finishing very well this year, Melbourne. The last quarters have been outstanding. If you missed it in the third quarter, Darren Jarman and a hamstring injury. We will be able to show how he did it.
Well, it's his left leg, not the kicking leg, which you just watch him here, and he'll just grab his left leg as he runs through here. Something's pinged there, so perhaps as he's stretched out, they're working on it. It's obviously not a... So perhaps as he's stretched out, they're working on it. It's obviously not a savage one, but they have to force him from the ground. Melbourne made some changes. Ingerson and Rigoni is off. It's Simmons at centre-half forward, Neitz to full forward, Jeff Farmer in the pocket.
Schwartz off the ground also.
And they had the chance to go forward. They still might be able to get out of it. Walsh. Oh, he's over the top of it. No free kick.
That's the cleanness that has disappeared from Melbourne's game today.
That's right.
They normally would have mopped that up and got the ball forward.
Had 2 chances there, Robbo.
They did, didn't they, Cools? Yep.
Marsh, and he has been an influential figure since he's gone into the ruck. Rashuda, as ever, at the footy. Perry played a big game too. A little unlucky, that almost took it with him. Woden's still in trouble. They should be able to get out of it now. Simmons, who's at centre-half back, out in front of Jeff White. If it sits for him here, he's got a couple of options inboard, one of them running Walsh.
Got to get a goal here.
Liam Shelley looks up, Neitz is down at full forward. He'll try and come over the top. He crashed through the pack to open it up. James Whelan is right there with him. McLeod, a couple to beat. Farmer did it pretty well. What can he do now? Not much. And he might get in trouble for that. Kicking it after it was out of bounds? No.
As we said earlier, boys, that Nigel Smart has had a very, very good game on Farmer today.
Farmer Curls has only had 6 possessions. He's had the chances. He's kicked 4 behinds.
It's Cameron Bruce at centre-half forward for Melbourne. I'm sorry about that. And Simmons is in the back pocket on Rhett Biglands.
James in the last line uses Bickley. And that's a kick that will open up if Stenglein can gather it cleanly. McDonald, and it's over the line and out of bounds. Stenglein's been a little quieter than I've seen him before. Graham, no kicks. He's had 8 handballs, though, so I guess he has been trying in there to contribute.
Yes, I don't think they'd be too concerned about that. Mark Rashudo also, as a midfielder, a bit quieter today.
Powell kicked it out of the air, but James taking the mark and getting them going again. Burton to half forward. Perry had it knocked away by Gergic, and a ball up again, the result.
One thing that's been very, very promising for the Crows, Graham, and I think you'll back this up, Perry has taken front position of those centre-half forward areas.
He's given a great contest, Curls. He's taken 7 marks as well, which they probably haven't had from centre-half forward for a long time.
Well, they've got a chance here to go forward through Goodwin. Goodwin's flying, left foot, shot at goal, hit the post. And 1 goal, 1 to Simon Goodwin.
Hit the post way up high, and the post is still rocking.
I think he hit the inside of the post. That should be a goal.
Give us a break.
Oh, Curls, you've topped everything there.
Get a mob down and kick him, eh, Curls? Don't give him an inch. Well, the Demons will go forward here through Jeff White. Short kick, all right. And the mark has been paid, even though he dropped it. Russell Robertson, 50 metres from goal. Short, Woden. Now, Shane Woden, if Melbourne are to have any possible chance of wrenching this game away from the Crows, he just has to kick a goal here. We've just in the early minutes of the last quarter, they trail by just under 6 goals. Just over, actually, 38 points in front, Adelaide, so he can make it 32 if he can kick with distance and accuracy. It's a goal. A goal to Woden.
Monday night, get up close and personal with the Giants.
Tarantulas can live for 20 years.
A bird-eating spider that's not afraid of anything. Monday, 7:30. At 8:30, Ally McBeal goes undercover to catch a killer.
Can you hear us?
You two might want to be a little less conspicuous.
Plus some shocking news for everyone, Monday, 8:30. Then at 9:30 on The Practice, will an innocent man be saved from jail? Channel 7, the one to watch Monday night.
What about the scoreboard attendance, Hutto? They took 6 points off Melbourne then when they kicked a goal. They did. They fair dinkum took 6 points off and then they've corrected to add 12.
Adelaide scoreboard.
Well, it gives them some hope that Adelaide going forward. Woden, they need him in the middle, making play. Up to half forward. Bruce couldn't take it. What a match-up that is. Robin on Bruce. A height mismatch for sure. Through the middle of the ground. Adelaide using it. Goodwin.
Look at Byrne.
Can escape. He's got a bit clear. He's pushing.
He'll still get it, Byrne.
At the back.
Certainty.
And well read, Robbo. Byrne kicks the goal.
Oh, he was there for half an hour.
I want to tell you about a bug that's sweeping across South Australia. Any contact with this bug will result in the following symptoms: widening of the pupils and goosebumps, followed by uncontrollable drooling and a temporary loss of speech. So, how do you catch this bug? By buying the advertiser. Simply collect your entry form and 5 tokens from Monday to Friday for your chance to win a brand new VW Beetle valued at over $40,000. You'll be sick if you miss it. Only in the advertiser. Fresh daily.
The ground, that matchup.
Not quite working, was it, in the early part?
With Cameron Bruce at centre-half forward.
Not quite strong enough, I don't think, the young fella just yet, but I'm sure he'll play a lot of football for Melbourne. Now, the bounce at the centre, Melbourne get the clearance through Uze, but Rashudo left it behind. Still Melbourne a chance. Woden sharing it. Leoncelli goes forward, kicks across the half-forward line. There'll be a Melbourne mark to Neitz. And David Neitz, he can kick it forward. No, by gee whiz, Leoncelli provided the lead, but Bassett was back there. Now Neitz being called to play on. Smart gets back. The kick, Neitz was probably backing back as he went to kick, and he didn't get any penetration at all on it, and Smart took the mark. Away to Marsh. Marsh has got Burton. He can handball over the top. If he can handball the ball a long way, he doesn't do that. He's still there, that player, and he decides to kick it in that direction. And the player in question was Tyson Edwards.
Would have been a big handball, right?
Ollie Farmer job.
He just kept running away from him, didn't he? And on this occasion, Robrin has made position at left half forward. Robrin, who's playing in a key defensive role, kicks it forward. The crumbs to be gathered. No. Back there is Gurgic. Dispossessed. Vardy's kicked a goal, hasn't he? Out of nowhere, Peter Vardy, 5 goals.
Here's a couple who bought a renovator's delight. While they're proud of the breakthrough they made,
Put in some French doors and then pave the courtyard.
not everybody shares their vision. And here's the Mitre 10 specialist.
Let's start with Accent. It's good value, it's our own brand, great range of colours.
From the store that understands it's not just the low price, it's getting the right advice that really saves you money.
You can see it, can't you, darling?
Yeah, it'll come.
So have a listen to the footy park crowd. Peter Vardy has been a fantastic contributor since he came onto the ground. They struggled early with goals, but he's given them the power. Robert, another steady game across centre-half back. Burton, who took the brilliant mark at the end of the third quarter. Goodwin has been a good contributor for them all year. Welsh has had a quiet day. The ball over the line and out of bounds.
He's been on the bench for quite a part of the match, Scott Welsh. He went off early.
He did go off early when Peter Vardy came on, and has gone to full forward now, while Darren Jarman, if you've just tuned in, strained his left hamstring after a very impressive 3 quarters of football.
Last couple of goals to Adelaide after Melbourne made a bit of a challenge and got to within 32 points.
Powell got a clearing kick. Outside 50, Melbourne can take it. Oh, Robertson, who pushed a long way up the ground. Oh, neat. The running player was Bassett to set up Stengline. If he could get the hands, he does. Bassett, there's crows everywhere. Bassett said, I'm a defender. I'm going to have a shot myself. Kick it into the square. He doesn't really make the contact he would have liked.
Well, he's fancied himself as a goal kicker this year, Nathan Bassett. That would have been his 3rd goal for the year.
I think he got a little excited there, Graham, there.
Would have been.
He's not a convincing shot at goal. He's only ever kicked 4 goals in an AFL career, so when they see the big sticks in front of them, they do get a bit excited.
Well, Stephen Phoebe preparing to bring it back into play for the Demons. Oh, Jeff White, spectacular leap and mark. Hand pass away to Neitz, transfers play to the opposite side of the ground where Simmons has marked. He handballs it off to Phoebe. Phoebe can have another bounce. Maybe he's got to keep going. No, he goes short, and all right too, onto the chest of Farmer, who has one of his rare opportunities away from Nigel Smart, who is being brought back about 5 metres. He just cannot believe where he thought the mark was taken.
And he doesn't dare dispute the decision because that'll end up in field. But look, the Jeff White mark and the kick to Simmons was tremendous. The penetration of Phoebe, he dashed through the centre, put the ball perfectly in front of Farmer.
You can see there that Jeffrey Farmer pretty well directly in front, and he pops it through for a goal to the Demons.
Aye, we were off for a wee break with the wains, and the car was like a cow. And would you know about Kennett? Clunk, clunk, clunk. I'm stood there right glaikit with the wains shouting, "Oh, Farah, you ken you're nothing but a big dunderhead." So I skedaddled right into Ultratune and told the laddie about the clunk, clunk, clunk. He says, "Oh, your shock absorbers are out the windy, man," and made a rare job of them. Understood me perfectly, he did.
Well, the Demons at least getting a couple of goals in this last quarter. Marsh. This is Edwards to get them out of the middle, the Crows. Long kick down from Byrne. Perry, he kept his footing and was good to just knock it out. Allowed Welsh to set up Biglands, and now Rashudo running out of room. McLeod sees a few hands up, calling for the ball, and pinpoints a beautiful pass and finds Goodwin, who takes the mark.
Neil Curley has been calling all week for Andrew McLeod to play in the centre of the ground and run forward. And a couple of his disposals today have vindicated that call.
Does he ever waste it, do you reckon? Have you ever seen him waste the ball, Andrew McLeod?
Well, we've seen 3 left-foot passes today, which have been exquisite.
Goodwin from outside 50, but here's a raking left footer. Went away to the right, and that's where it stayed. 13-14. So Adelaide's accuracy hasn't been anything to get excited about either, but Melbourne's 6-16.
David Neitz has now gone back to centre-half back, and Brent Gergic has gone to full forward for Melbourne. So Terry Danaher is, well, he's really clutching at straws at the moment.
And his brother Neil is also making some moves as well.
That's twice I've called him Terry.
Well, they've made a bit of a mess up of the kick in because Stengline took it, and then that kick, maybe the Demons can get clear of their full back line. Just a succession of hand passes, and in the finish on the end of that kick was Rigoni. I think Rigoni has got to be a player on the ground if Melbourne are to kick a succession of goals, which they have to just put a bit of respectability on the scoreboard. A good opportunity here through Neitz. His kick found McDonald in the middle. Now Uze. Uze's kick will find Schwartz. Just a little far out of the reach there of David Schwartz. Slips over, which is quite critical. Matthew Robran keeps his footing. Brent Gergic to try and put the pressure on, and can't quite keep the ball inside the field of play. And the scoreboard showing Adelaide having the advantage by 40 points with 12 minutes left. Adelaide 92, lead Melbourne 52. Schwartz and Marsh and Bickley's got hold of the right arm of Leon Chelley there, and Mark Bickley indicating that there's no way known that Leon Chelley could have got rid of the ball legally, which is a fair point.
There's that mark of Jeff White from the kickoff. He's threatening to do that, isn't he? He is threatening to take the mark of the year as well.
Well, he's got a tremendous leap. Nigel Smart, James McDonald, short kick is all right. Schwartz deep in the pocket, kicks deeper into the pocket. Gergic from behind, but a good mark. Bassett. He's played a good game, this bloke.
He just plays in front.
Just a dogged defender, isn't he?
Yeah, nothing stylish about him.
And on the end of this is Matthew Robran. Ben Hart looking to get the hand pass. He might still get it. No, James back to Robran. Robran in front of the face there of Perry. Perry sweeps onto the left and then decides on the hand pass. Goes into Byrne. Byrne already a goal kicker in this term. Kicks the ball to half forward. Rashudo beaten for it by Simmons, but he went in after it again, Mark Rashudo. Tackled by James McDonald. The ball spills out to Walsh. He can give the hand pass off, It's Stephen Phoebe at left half back for Melbourne. Hooks the kick back in towards the middle, not bad either. And Leon Chelley has been paid the mark. No, free kick maybe over the shoulder. And he wastes no time. Takes the advantage of being able to play on and then kicks it short. And David Schwartz is marked within 50 metres of goal for the Demons.
Yes, he hasn't looked comfortable for too many times in this game, David Schwartz, but he had some space in front of him. The delivery from Leon Chelley was good.
40 points the margin. Can David Schwartz bring it back to 34?
He's a very good kick. This will test whether there really is any breeze coming from that end.
Yet to kick a goal after kicking 3 behinds. It's a thumper. Lots of distance, but no accuracy there. He's 4 behinds against his name, David Schwartz, in this match. And there's been a couple of culprits from that point of view. Russell Robertson has kicked 2 goals 3, and Jeffrey Farmer has kicked 1 goal 4.
Interesting game in as much that Woden and Rashudo, perhaps the form sentiment of the competition, haven't had a big influence on this game.
Edwards. Now Bickley just taking his time to decide. The sting perhaps going out of the game now. Byrne through the middle. And that's a good looking kick. Oh, Goodwin surprisingly didn't take the mark. Vardy recovering and getting them going into the pocket. Poor bounce for Rashudo. McDonald. Wheatley off the left. Good kick, yes. Opens it right up for the Demons along the wing. Rigoni could have gone to Woden, still could. He's on the wing.
Should have
and got them moving. Wanted to go straighter onto the wing. Put his teammate under pressure, Simmons. Now the handball's on. Schwartz got Powell, and Woden inboard uses Powell. Gergic is down there. He waited, he handballed it. Under pressure, Leon Chelley. And there's a
ordinary free kick, umpire. Very ordinary free kick.
Well, the free kick's probably disadvantaged Melbourne because they had Power streaming into the goal with his left leg, but just...
Fellas, what's happening to our game when free kicks like that are played?
He missed him. He actually missed him,
That's a joke free kick.
Well, that's the one thing that we've had problems with this year.
Well, Schwartz is going to have another chance from a very similar position to where he was a minute ago.
Let's watch it again.
Missed him.
Well, I think the umpire's concerned about that left arm. Just brushed him on the shoulder, but certainly wasn't over the shoulder.
Another awkward-looking kick from David Schwartz. It was a little bit closer.
It's a contact game, though, isn't it? Or are we trying to make it
well, let's not get
to basketball every day?
But there's been an increasing move to sanitise the game in a lot of areas over the last couple of years. And those of us from an older generation probably feel that the game has suffered because of it.
Well, Ben Hart now to bring it back in and finds Bickley. Bickley runs outside his defensive 50-metre zone and does it beautifully. Kicks it very, very nicely to Biglands. Biglands now. Oh, terrific effort by Marsh. He nearly dragged in a one-hander.
Tried to come the umpire.
Gathered by Simmons, finds Rigoni. In the middle, he's got 2 or 3 players to pinpoint. He kicks it to Powell. Handball. James McDonald, right in the middle. Could have nearly hand-passed off, but kicked it high to a bit of a one-on-one. Ben Hart left it behind. Jeff White gets it back for Melbourne. Goes for goal. Jeff White. Farmer, he's hit the post anyway. Now, in that circumstance, it could have been, couldn't it? Because he jumped early, but the kick hit the post.
Is there an extra cash bonus for the big mark today or something? We're seeing some huge flyers today.
I think it's the day. Slightly overcast, not much wind. The ball sits up there. You just have to go for them.
So Adelaide 13-14, Melbourne 6-19. Speaking of which, Brett Burton's got the footy. To half-forward, Perry. He's not as many spectacular, but just really good, solid, high marking.
Well, a real tradesman-like performance.
9 marks.
Perry into the pocket. Oh, Rigoni couldn't stop Rashudo.
Phoebe slipped, unfortunately. There was a bit of a clash or tangle. Phoebe went to ground. Mark Rashudo ran onto a fairly easy mark in the end.
Actually, fellas, if you're the Crows coach, Gary Ayres, you'd want to see this game finished off pretty strongly because percentage, and it happens to all teams, is vitally important at the end of the season.
I think you're pretty much just happy with a win, Curl, sometimes.
I know, but you want the percentage.
Rashudo kicks well. Terrific kick from Mark Rashudo.
Changes are coming to All Saints.
This ward is being closed down.
Big changes.
It may become obsolete, redundant.
It'll bring a hospital to its knees.
On strike.
And its staff to the brink. Tuesday on All Saints.
When you start dating again, expect some questions.
You gonna marry this guy?
Crazy, I just met him.
You don't just meet somebody and go, oh, he's the one, you know. That's something somebody your age would do.
Once and Again premieres Tuesday.
This will be a good leaping contest here. Briglands against White.
43 points, the margin in favour of Adelaide. And you tipped it, Curls, but at ground level, the Crows seem to have that ability to clear the centre square. The kick landing at half forward. Melbourne under pressure. Eventually, little left foot kick by Wheatley will be marked by White, so he's covered some territory because he contested the centre bounce, and he's taken the mark between left half back and left centre wing and goes short and nearly finds Wheatley. Able to gather, can't break away. Well done, Schwartz. One bounce, sweeping hand pass, sets it up for Powell. Powell, little kick. Was that meant? Let's give him the credit. He found Woden. 50 metres from goal.
Farmer wants it in long, and Nigel Smart's turned his back on the play. Watching Farmer, now he feels body and looks up for the ball.
Goes across the half-forward line and finds Whelan. He's going to be forced to kick with the left, and he cannot convert either. Kicks the 19th behind for Melbourne. Gee, it's a miserable scoreboard, isn't it? Might even be their 20th behind. It is. 6 goals, 20.
They've been playing so well too. I really felt deep down before the game that Melbourne would have to have an off game for Adelaide to get back into it, but since quarter time, Adelaide have been so dominant.
Well, Mark Bickley is always putting his body on the line. Biglands, he does look a real comer for them. Marsh has done a great job though since he went into the ruck. Perry, Neats, moved from centre half back, which is a great honour for Perry because Neats has been in outstanding form. Gets them moving. McDonald, it was James McDonald, Walsh, Lee and Shelley. He'll take them on and then loop it over the top. Young Whelan getting some valuable experience today. He's a good young player. Lee and Shelley runs to the 50. One-on-one, Smart and Farmer for one more time. Farmer, yes.
Create your own unique, stylish garden with inexpensive, easy-to-make ornaments. We show you how. Don't be afraid to be a little different. And a meal for under $10? Belinda's Chinese Ravioli is a real winner on Better Homes Tuesday. Then, take yourself on a Whitsunday adventure break. It's like 3 incredible holidays all in the one place. And it doesn't get any better than this. You can swim with Hawaii's dolphins on the Great Outdoors Tuesday.
Well, while we went for the break, coming off the ground for Adelaide was Brett Burton, having had 16 kicks, 5 hand passes and 12 marks. No goals against his name. Ricky O'Loughlin back on for Adelaide. 14-14, 98. Not a big scoreline for a modern-day game, Graham. And on the other hand, the Demons just absolute inaccuracy, 7-20.
And inexplicable on a day like today when it looks like it's absolutely perfect to play football in.
And from my scorecard, not too many of those behinds from Melbourne, not any, as a matter of fact, have been rushed. Jeff White out wide to Woden. He's on centre wing. Now, no one really to kick to again. So he's going to have to kick into the pocket, looks for and finds Farmer. So he did pretty well there, Jeffrey Farmer, and he kicks to a vacant goal square, hooks it a little too far and kicks his 5th behind. 2 goals, 5 for Jeff Farmer. So 7-21, that's 28 scoring shots apiece. Adelaide lead by 35 points.
2 goal 5, that's 7 shots at goal.
Robrin, as Adelaide bring it out of defence. Yet again, the running player off half-back is Bassett. He had a shot at goal a few moments ago. Maybe he's got designs on another one. He's a bit far out. A long one to full forward. Neats in front. Takes a strong mark in front of Perry.
Sweep to the far side, White.
Yeah, White was on and he got Uze, and now Simmons running past. Simmons carries his full distance. Goes for Schwartz, who tried to take the one-hander. Oh, tough one for Robertson. who's had a few opportunities today. James, Bickley, Robran again. Biglands, back to Robran.
Played well, Robran.
And now it opens up on the outer wings. He ran a long way. He ran a very long way. Gets Edwards. So Tyson Edwards got Ben Marsh in board, or Goodwin. Simon Goodwin might go for home from here. 55 out. He didn't really kick it as hard as he could have. Put it to the goal square instead. And behind the result of all that, Adelaide 14-15, 99. Melbourne 7-21-63.
He's had a good game, Simon Goodwin. He's tagged Shane Woden, pretty much tagged him out of the game early, and has done some fine attacking work himself.
Good kick in by Stephen Phoebe. Finds Woden, who will add to his tally of stats. Rigoni run down. Well, the umpire allowed that play to go on, and Melbourne shrugged the tackle there. Uze, hand pass off to White. He's a thumping kick, but just gets under it a little and kicks it to the goal square. Jeffrey Farmer trying to squeeze the opportunity maybe for his third goal. He's screaming at the umpire saying, oh, what about a free kick? And nothing happening.
I tell you, Robert, for one so small, Jeffrey Farmer does hold his ground well in those marking contests.
He does too, so there must be a bit of strength in the little body. And it's Bassett receiving from Ben Hart, who kicked in from the rush behind. Ben Hart gets it back and feeds it off to McLeod. McLeod wide, and no mark out there to Robran. But he does well, doesn't he? Do very, very well. He might get penalised here now, because he did drag it back in. He tried to control it. He did very nicely. Then Schwartz got it, kicked it to Robertson. Flying shot at goal by Russell Robertson. He's kicked 3.
And has been a good player for Melbourne, there's no doubt about it. Probably Melbourne's best player. He's taken 12 marks, had 17 kicks and 3 goals in a forward line that can only manage 8 goals, 22. Means that he's had a real crack at it. Matthew Robran getting very slowly to his feet. Perhaps should have taken the mark that caused that collision there. He had 2 grabs at it, just slightly underneath it. Just have a look at it. He was off balance. And I think it's the knee, the right knee of David Schwartz, collected him in the head quite accidentally. He's seen stars, but he's had worse.
Graham, I think the Crows have put half the queue in the rack.
Because the game is over. I don't think they've deliberately...
Not over till the siren goes.
Well, they've got 1 minute 42 to kick 5 goals, Curls. Let's see how they go. 29 points is the margin. Melbourne have fought on, but the sting certainly going out of the game in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Welsh in front of Whelan.
They don't stop trying, Curls, but Melbourne desperately trying to salvage something. They probably lifted their intensity a little bit. Adelaide psychologically relaxed. Matthew Robran coming off the ground. That's the applause.
Now they get a chance to shoot a goal through Marcus Shuto.
Why would you take a player off who's not really injured?
He got kneed in the head.
He's not hurt. He's fine.
Well, we're going to rest him, Curls. Gary
Rest him for a minute. What's the game coming to? I can't work it out.
Oh, you're a hard man.
Did someone give you a whack in the head down there, Curls?
Well, they only hurt their fist.
50 seconds remaining, and Mark Rashudo comes in and puts through the Adelaide Crows' 15th goal. They get the century. Rashudo's kicked 2. And Adelaide 15-15, 105. Melbourne at 8-22-70.
It's probably the most unpredictable game. There's Andrew McLeod, had a fantastic game. Finds Bickley. Bickley quickly to Rashudo. Rashudo been in great form as a centreman, has been moved out of the centre, has gone to full forward. He's kicked 2 goals. He's still finished this game with 26 valuable possessions. And most people would think that he's been a little bit quiet today.
Melbourne now in arrears to the extent of 35 points. They had the opportunity maybe to get it back to a respectable margin, but Adelaide kicking the last goal through Mark Rashudo. Melbourne still a chance. It's right on their half-forward line. And Crowell, who's back on the ground, James and Bassett combined, and the short kick has been marked by Goodwin. So maybe the last passage of play coming up, but on that far side of the ground, Stengline decides to go long and kick to a marking contest between Perry and Neitz. Neitz got the hand pass away, then the little tap favoured Wheatley. He in turn to Whelan. Whelan further forward to Leon Chelley, to Bruce, and that is final siren time at Football Park here in Adelaide in front of a crowd of 37,871 people. Adelaide have registered their 4th victory for the season at the expense of the Demons. Adelaide 15-15, 105. Melbourne 8-22-70. And the big goal kicker for the match was Peter Vardy with 5.
Well, it's an emphatic victory for Adelaide against quality opposition. Melbourne have been a very, very good team. Adelaide regaining possession will go down to Neil Curley on the boundary.
A danger game coming in, and looked dangerous in the first quarter, but then the fellas really slipped themselves and took it away.
Yeah, it was a bit sloppy early in the game, but and Melbourne started well. They were 2 goals up, but the boys in the second quarter got into gear, and you know, their form this year's been terrific. They were 6-4, so yeah, it was a good test for the boys, and great victory.
A lot more confidence coming back in the team. They're starting to make some chances, create some opportunities, and bring players into the game.
I reckon the last 6 or so weeks our back line's been terrific, and today you know, they passed to the forward line very well and kicked some goals for them. So that was you know, we're not a tall forward line, we're a small, so we've got to chip it around, and that was the focus today, to kick some goals for the back line.
Looking at you now, you're a bit lucky not a horse. They might have to put you down.
Yeah, I thought they were going to put me down, but I think it's my first ever hamstring, so I didn't even actually know what I did, so yeah, hopefully it should be all right.
Good win, all the best.
Thanks,
Enjoy
mate.
yourself.
Neil Curley with Darren Jarman, who, although he did go off with that injury, did enough early, kicked 3 goals, 4, took 6 marks, had 12 kicks, 2 handballs, and later tackled 3 goals, 4. He looked pretty fired up today after all that had been said during the week about being taken off the ground last week. And he certainly contributed as Adelaide came flying out in that second quarter, kicked 6 goals to 0 in that second term, and really the game was just about over after that, Graham.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Melbourne looked very impressive, but Adelaide, who are struggling to find some form and some confidence and just restore self-belief, really lifted after quarter time. They had some very, very good players. Jarman, as you mentioned, was very, very good. Nigel Smart's performance on Jeff White was good. We see Mark Rasciuto, Nathan Bassett. He played a tremendous game at fullback. I think he had something like 20 kicks and took 10 marks now for a fullback in this competition. That's outstanding. Ian Perry, we're seeing there at centre-half forward, really did a tough job. Ricky O'Loughlin, Kane Johnson, not too much time on the ground. And the 2 ruckmen there, Biglands and Marsh, really served it up to Jeff White and Simmons. It's going to restore confidence in Adelaide, gets them back on track, gives them some optimism. They're going to have to do something special to make the 8 from here. But at least they've won today rather than faced with the prospect of a week in Adelaide without a win.
So the Crows going in to celebrate. We'll stay with them to sing the song.
Peter Vardy's 5 goals, coming off the bench to kick 5 goals too.
Unbelievable, is it, Hutto? The euphoria over a win. Huh?
Well, when you
their
haven't had
4th win for the year, and you'd reckon they'd won another flag over here. By golly.
No.
No wonder the coach gets a bake when they lose about 3 in a row.
I think they're marvellous, Ian.
Oh.
They're just wonderful.
It's been pretty bleak in Adelaide, Robbo. You've got to understand. I don't think they get carried away with it, but it's far better than losing. And you can see the players are pretty balanced about it. There's no excessive euphoria there.
So for the 4th time this year, the Adelaide Crows singing the theme song at Footy Park after their win today, 15-15, 105 to 8-22-70.
They look magnificent.
They taste magnificent.
But are they worth $1,000?
New Balfour's Bakehouse Pies. Buy one and you could win $1,000 instantly. Details at your participating deli or supermarket.
Heather Turland, marathon runner, Commonwealth gold medalist and mother of 4.
My biggest achievement is definitely raising a family. Winning a gold medal was amazing, but this lot certainly keep life in perspective. Being a marathon runner, I'm conscious about nutrition and my family benefit from that. Nutella spread on toast is one of our regular family favourites. It's full of hazelnuts, skim milk and cocoa, which makes Nutella taste so great.
Nutella, more than just a delicious taste.
For free, confidential and practical information on how to get your business started with the GST, simply call GST Assist on 1330 88 and get started today. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Introducing the all-new Volvo V70 T5. It's all about family.
Last time we got a container load in, they sold out real quick. A lot of people missed out. Don't miss out this time. The rolling organisers, they're on wheels, a fantastic value, just $4.99 at Cunningham's. The bigger one, just $6.99. Under the bed, just $12.99. $12.99. Sorry, I bumped the camera. And the bigger one is just $11.99. The humongous one is $19.99. 4-tier trolley on casters, just $24.99. And the hobby box is $3.99.
It's been a battle. You see, I enjoyed smoking. I also wanted to stop. So I'd stop, then start again. Until now. Nicobate helps me control the cravings, even in the mornings.
Nicobate's with you 24 hours a day, delivering a steady stream of nicotine to help you stay calm and in control hour by hour.
I'm not out of it yet, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. With willpower, Nicobate can help you stay calm, in control, and quit.
We all know calcium is essential for a strong, healthy body for both men and women. But did you know that lifestyle, age or diet can affect your ability to absorb it? Now there's a delicious new reduced fat cheese with an extra 28% more calcium than regular cheese slices. New Cal Plus cheese slices. More of the calcium your body needs with less fat. And who are the fellas behind New Cal Plus? Adelaide.
So the Adelaide Crows too good for Melbourne, 15-15, 105 to 8-22-70. Peter Vardy leading the way with 5 goals for the Crows. And a good performance, Graham Corns, in the end by the Crows after Melbourne started really well.
In the end, Anthony, it was a hesitant start by Adelaide, and Melbourne threatened to blow the game away, but Adelaide recovered and regrouped in the second quarter. Melbourne's inaccuracy helped them, but in the end, I think Adelaide were just too emphatic. They were running, they were confident, and they were able to counter the really big guns of Melbourne, and a much-needed confidence-boosting win for Adelaide.
Well, how did you see your votes? Because some pretty good performances.
Very hard for Adelaide. There's 7 players for Adelaide that could have featured in the votes. In the end, I've gone for Andrew McLeod because he just cut them to pieces at critical times, bobbed up with the odd goal or two, and Ian Perry, again, not spectacular, but centre-half forward. He stood tall and he was on a very good opponent in Neitz. Neitz had to be moved. He was a good avenue for goal. And Russell Robertson from Melbourne kicked 3 goals and was one of their very good players. He just kept getting the ball. But I have to give apologies to Marsh, Robin, Burt and Vardy, and probably a couple of others too who missed out on the votes.
Well, a tough day at the office for Neil Danaher. Let's hear what he had to say at his post-match press conference.
Neil, before the game started, there were a couple of areas that I thought you boys would be very strong in. One was ruck. But I think the Crows may have gone on top of you just there, and also Nick, centre-half back again. Perry's looking pretty good.
Yeah, Perry's good today, and they had some good on-ballers. You know, I was pretty happy with Powell and Len Chelling, and I'm waiting a little bit later on. But at the end of the day, they probably were an edge in front of us. You don't win footy games kicking 14 consecutive points, I guess. So. Especially when you're away from home, you just need that a little bit of confidence to, and I guess point after point after point after point was, if it wasn't flattening the players, girls, they were flattening the coach in the coach's box, I can tell you. But, you know, we We probably, at the end, we lost confidence going into our forward line too. We ran the ball well to the middle, but we started to lose trust in actually getting it at the goals, and that probably hurt us, and we'll work on those things.
The Crows' defence didn't give you forward much opportunity. They were very tight.
No, they're you know, a back six that's very experienced, very talented, the Premiership or all Australians, and we got a lot of young kids. You know, and they'll learn from that. You know, Russell Robertson was good, but you know, David Swartz kicked 5 points, and Jeff Farmer kicks 2 goals 5. You know, all of a sudden, it doesn't take much for a backman to have a poor game. If David's generally reliable, if he kicks 4 goals 1, you're pretty happy, and if Wiz kicks 4 or 5, all of a sudden it changes the mix around, a bit of pressure. But we weren't able to do that, and it's a credit to the Crows' backline.
Jeff White, Neil, against Port Adelaide, he was brilliant in the ruck. Has he been carrying an injury since then?
Oh yeah, there's no secret there, you know. But I thought he was pretty good. He got 25 possessions through the midfield, so his rucking mightn't have been spot on. But I thought, you know, you're pretty happy if your ruckman gets 25 possessions. Did you get 25 curls in your day?
Neil, apart from that inaccuracy in front of goal in the second and third quarters, what sort of disappointed you about the effort as well?
No, I'll leave it to that.
Yep. Sure.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that was Neil Danaher. I wonder what Gary Ayres had to say. Graham, a much better day for Gary Ayres as the coach of the Crows. Let's listen to his post-match press conference.
The first probably 10 minutes or so, not much was really clicking, but you know, they've shown a fair bit of perseverance, I think, over the 11 weeks, and they did that again today. So we persevered, and I think probably putting together reasonably well 4 quarters of footage is vital, obviously, for where we sit.
Jarman started the game today. Was the plan to play him for the second quarter? Was there any reason behind that?
Well, that's why I'm trying to look after him so he doesn't go and do hamstrings like he did today. But, well, I thought about that because of the fact that he kicked, I think, 9 against him last year at full forward, and you know, look, it's just how you use the guy to maximise his productivity and the benefit that he obviously gets when he uses the ball. Although I suppose his goal kicking was a little bit off, which is probably a bit different, I suppose, from Darren's point of view. But yeah, and then he balked and zigged when he probably should have zagged, and then did his hamstrings. So yeah, hopefully it'll only be a couple of weeks.
Did you take Prosciutto out of the centre square for a reason in the second half?
Yeah, I want him to have a spell because I thought he was a bit flat today, Mark. And he's been up for 10 weeks now, and he's played some pretty fair footy. So, and Brett James had fresh legs, so Brett came on and scored that goal pretty much soon after we started in the third quarter. And I just think he was just a little bit off the boil today. He certainly contributed when he went to full forward and kicked that goal on the last, but it was just a bit down today. But he's certainly been up for a long time. It's just that maintaining that level week in, week out, which you know is difficult to do.
Gary, I've watched this team for quite a while now and seen them win their 2 premierships, but I don't think the movement at the moment is far away from when they won those premierships.
Yeah, well, obviously we've been working on the style of play, and I think, again, if you sort of encompass the whole 11 weeks that we've been going, I still think that's a good style of footy that we're playing, and the guys certainly know that and believe in that, and it's just a case of putting it together for that 4 quarters, and that's going to be the challenge for us to do it now, because we obviously got those 3 wins and we just didn't quite do it for 4 quarters. We had lapses obviously over the last couple of weeks, and they know that they've just got to play that style for 4 quarters.
Well, after all the controversy of last week, a little bit happier, Gary Ayres.
My word, and Darren Jarman did very well for him and gave him that opportunity for goal scoring. Restored some balance in Adelaide's season. They've still got the job in front of them, but it's far better to have won this one than to be facing this week with a loss.
The Crows getting home here by 35 points. We'll take a break and come back to wrap up here at Footy Park.
They look magnificent.
They taste magnificent.
But are they worth $1,000?
New Balfour's Bakehouse Pies. Buy one and you could win $1,000 instantly. Details at your participating deli or supermarket.
Qantas has some of the best food in the sky. Yeah. It's all as fresh as humanly possible.
USA.
Oh, and they really know how to look after a vegetarian.
Calling all shops and businesses. Have you got your free $200 GST voucher yet? A&R are registered GST suppliers, so bring in your voucher and use it to start getting GST ready. At A&R, buy or rent using your GST voucher to help cover the costs. Or get new business software, MyOb, Quicken and more. A&R computers are registered GST suppliers, so G, see you soon. Port Adelaide and Melrose Park.
Cheers! For over 3 decades, Tom Jones has been the master of cool.
You don't have to be rich. Yeah.
Now, Tom Jones returns.
If I only knew.
Performing the hits that have made him one of the superstars of our time.
It's not unusual. Think I better dance now. Burning down the house.
Tom Jones.
My house.
Live in concert. A show not to be missed. Tickets on sale now.
Okay, some dreams can't come true, but yours can with Visa, the only card accepted at the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games.
Oh, sorry. Oh, there's nothing new at Cunningham. There's nothing special this week. Still the same old stuff. Same old, same old. Just kidding. Virtually unbreakable chopping board, just $3.99. The wiper blades. Magic wiper blades. Yahoo! No, $1. Finger mountain bikes, $2. And pillow protectors, just $2 for pillow biters. And the willow bakewater, $2. $2. Brooms, just $2. Broom, broom, broom.
Ever wanted to have your in-laws arrested?
Here's $100. Tuck it in your bra and flirt a little.
Revealing Dharma and Greg next.
At Footy Park today, Adelaide made a slow start, but they were too good. The second quarter was where they really opened things up. And in the end, Graham Corns, they had a pretty good win by 35 points.
They did. There's still 3 games out of the 8, but they'd be eyeing that off. A lot of what you can see the 8 there coming up. Regardless of what happens between West Coast and Collingwood, the Adelaide team will be 3 games out. Still time to do it, but they still obviously have to find some power and some potency in attack. Darren Jarman will be out for a week or so, you would imagine. It's not looking particularly good, but there's still a little bit of hope there.
Well, we're at the halfway stage now of the AFL season, so it does give us a chance to assess things and some really important matches coming up for all the teams next week.
Well, the important thing is that Essendon have been the dominant side. Collingwood and Geelong are going to be important for both sides. Geelong, after promising so much, obviously desperate for a win. Adelaide against Sydney, both teams having difficult years here at Football Park. The Lions and Richmond, again, Richmond with that fantastic form that they're showing under Danny Frawley. It would be a very interesting game at the Gabba. The Lions just have to win that one, you'd suggest. Hawthorn and Fremantle. Both teams need to win desperately. And here at Sunday, Port Adelaide versus the Kangaroos at the SCG. It's the Kangaroos' home game, and it would be difficult to see Port Adelaide getting off the bottom of the ladder there. West Coast and Carlton at Subiaco, and the Western Bulldogs against Melbourne at Colonial Stadium. Good game, that one.
Yeah, some great matches next week. That's for round 12. Today we saw Adelaide get home by 35 points here at Footy Park. Hope you enjoyed all the action, and it's good night.
This match in the 2000 AFL season, proudly brought to you by The Advertiser, fresh from the field, Sip and Save, Repco, Big League Legends, Amy, Coca-Cola, get caught red-handed, Mitre 10, Ultratune, in tune with you and your car, and Medibank Private.
This 7 News update is brought to you by Colonial, giving you fresh insurance, investment and banking solutions.
Good evening. An investigation is underway into the death of a 6-year-old boy at Ascot Park today. He was hit by a suburban passenger train on his way home from the shops after running an errand for his mother. It's understood he tried to dart across the tracks as the train approached, but didn't realise how fast the passenger train was travelling. He died instantly. In strife-torn Fiji, a 7 News crew has been shot at. The reporter and camera operator had approached the besieged Parliament House where coup organisers have been holding hostages, including the country's Prime Minister. Our crew retreated to their car after the masked gunman, acting as a guard at the Parliament House gates, opened fire. They were shaken but unhurt. Now to the footy, and a return to form for the Adelaide Crows with a good win over Melbourne at Footy Park. Now to Adelaide's weather for Monday. It'll be mainly fine with a top of about 17 degrees.